Já tá rolando. Let's go.
What's up, guys? We are here for the podcast number 2020. No, 23.
23.
023. Like I told again, going so fast. I'm so happy to be able to do that. Today we're here with Jake from Pittsburgh, my big friend. We met each other like long time ago, man. First
it was
time.
a while ago.
Yeah. Thanks so much to drive down here to Matthews. Thank you, JP, for another
Thanks,
podcast
Max.
together, my
Let's
friend.
do it.
Before we start, shout out for our sponsor, Brave Gimenis. If you want to support us, go get some gear on bravegimenis.com and use our discount code for 10% off PBJJF. Okay, shout out for Roll Live who help us to make this happen. And that's all. Before start, like, comment, send it to your friends, share with your friends, hit the bell, support. That's the way to guys support, you know.
Do all the things.
Yeah, do all the
Subscribe.
things, subscribe.
Let's go.
That's like a good way to support to us to
Yeah.
keep it
Keep it doing this.
Keep it doing this, you know. It's hard. That's like a job too, and like how you guys can pay us, like,
That's it.
Subscribe,
share,
share.
you know.
Maybe in the future they get this super sticker there. What is-
The super chat.
Super
Yeah.
chat.
Here we go.
That's
That'll
the
be
way.
awesome.
And just giving tell everybody if there's school owners watching it, Brave Kimonos, they have the wholesale. I think you also
Yeah, we
get
do.
some Brave products,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
There's a Brave wholesale account where school owners they can go to the website and they can create an account there and take advantage of the wholesale pricing and to be able to resell for their students and have products at their schools, with low order. You don't have to have like a large inventory. So that's the way.
important. That's the way, man. Hey,
And if you support our sponsors, you're supporting PBJJF Podcast as well.
Yeah.
So
let me tell some. You guys don't know how happy I'm here to have this guy.
Man, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I'm so happy.
Yeah. It's exciting to see everything you guys are doing and to be, in the first bit is awesome.
Yeah,
Real
thank
happy
you.
to be here.
We coming down for Pittsburgh like twice already.
Twice, yeah.
We come for the
This
third time
month,
now.
too,
This
we'll be-
month,
Yep.
like 20
Couple
days,
weeks.
couple
Yeah,
weeks. Yeah,
21st.
21st.
We'll be there.
We met each other first time I think like 2018. I
Yep.
come down for like a Gutenberg seminar
That's it.
on your school. We met each other, be like your friends right away.
Immediately.
Then after I come to do a seminar too, like maybe 2 or 3 times. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you've been 2 or 3
Yeah.
times now.
But,
Yeah.
and like, but man, this guy always welcome. Every time I say like, "Hey man, let's do a seminar or have something," he figured out a way. His students like awesome guys too. I love,
Yeah,
I
we
love
have-
to be around that.
We have a good crew. A good crew in
crew,
Pittsburgh. Yeah, they support, and that's like what the biggest thing
Yeah.
is. They make it easy for me to bring guys in
Mm-hmm.
and go to tournaments, and because we have a lot of good people around us that love
The
jiu-jitsu.
community, man. Like I feel like when you create a good community on a school, good vibe, good like energy, people want to be there.
Yeah.
For
Sure.
nothing. Just like if you say like, guys, today gonna be a seminar, just don't talk, just gonna talk. It's conversation. People support. Then I mean,
They will.
that's like they don't care. They just want to be part.
Yeah.
That's important.
And I think that was like a super important thing that we tried to do when I opened the gym, is I understood that, like, man, you can learn jiu-jitsu from a lot of people, a lot of different ways, but the community, the actual space that you're in, being like welcoming and fun and supportive, like, man, we have over 150 people. Not everyone's best friends, but there's no enemies. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, we don't have anyone who
they
doesn't
get
have that
along
heat.
with each
Yeah,
other.
and you have to. It's like you feel that vibe when you walk in the room. Like, if you're gonna bring negative energy,
You're not part of the
not part of that.
and it's so easy to see. You know what I mean? Like, if a guy comes in with negative energy, and most of the time it's like one conversation, like, "Hey,
That
bro, you
fixes
all
it.
right?" You're like, "That's not really for here,"
Yeah.
And then it fixes it, and that spreads.
That's
that
cool.
spreads and opens opportunities, makes friendships. So
I really like it. Another thing too from True Believe, the design is the shirts design is her is
the
that like
fashion,
they fashion they get like some fresh things always, man.
yeah, we're always getting all the boys always like the crew necks and,
Yeah.
and support that way, and You know, I think that's important. It is always important to me that things looked a certain way, because I think right when you see my logo or the school's logo, you get the vibe. You kind of understand what it's going to be just looking at it, you know. And I think people do that on purpose or on accident. Mine was on purpose, you know.
That's a strategy too.
Yeah, 100%.
And also you like it too, the like lifestyle.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
streetwear. Like,
yeah, I grew up like
yeah.
skateboarding and hip hop music and hardcore music, and streetwear is just involved in
Part
that.
of
It's
your-
just
You
part
try-
of it.
you
Yeah,
try
I mean,
combine that on to
yeah, and it's
jiu-jitsu,
just
so,
also
yeah.
like it's what I like. You know what I mean? Like I like tattoos. I like that culture. I like I like kind of like the more underground things that are accessible though.
Yeah.
It's like all you have to do is try to be a part of it, you know, and then you can be a part of it. And,
I like to do this too, combine the things I like from my lifestyle, you know what I
Right.
mean, to like my school, whatever, you know. I feel like that's really important.
yeah, especially when you can find the similar things. And I think that's the thing that helped my gym is like when people saw the logo, it's not like typical, you know. It's like they look and like, oh, maybe a guy who skateboards now thinks like, oh, maybe I should try jujitsu,
Yeah.
man. Like, maybe I should check this out.
And it really connects, right? Jiu-jitsu, surfing, right? You see
All
a lot
these
of
things,
the
yeah. All these things.
Back in the day, the physical trainer for the jiu-jitsu guys is surfing now.
Surfing, yeah.
Like,
I mean, even they have like the Hicks and Gracie Cup or whatever. It's like the
Yeah.
black belts all surf, and you know, I'm from Pennsylvania, so there's no surfing, but
With skateboard.
Skateboarding,
yeah, and,
yeah.
and I didn't skateboard like as a kid. I had friends who skateboarded.
But like the culture, you know.
I love the culture, and honestly, that's when I was a kid. I liked fighting, and if you hung out with skateboard kids,
You'll find
you're gonna fight. Yeah, man, you're gonna find some fights, and so like that stuff always just stuck with me.
How was the skateboard community? It was like a group, a different group.
I mean, for me, man, like I found those kids through like punk music and hardcore music, and then it was like, yeah, you had your little crew at your high school, and then the other crew at the other high school, and usually it'd be like, I don't know, you'd be skating around, and some guy would say something to one of your friends, and you know, start
like,
tripping
hey,
off.
you skateboard here on my
Yeah,
neighborhood, man.
exactly.
This is
Yeah.
my
Get
play.
out, get
Yeah.
out. I'm not gonna get out. There's,
Yeah, so
there's,
you know,
the street is public. Whatever, man.
yeah. So I think I like that energy of skateboarding more, and I was not good at it, you know what I mean? But I had friends who were super good at it. And
I
so-
I try skateboard too, but I think I'm always too big for this skateboard.
yeah, I think I'm too tall and skinny, so I like, you know,
Do you snowboard as well?
man. Ever since I did jujitsu, I just do jujitsu. Like I just go full for jujitsu. I mean, like I'll play basketball with my friends or whatever like that, but I don't really like taking vacations that much. You know what I mean? Like leave and go snowboard is like, I think I would be bored most of the time. And then just thinking like, man, I want to train jujitsu. Like, and I started just a hobby, you know, and then like, for me, it's like if I get hurt snowboarding, I'm gonna be so mad at myself.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to
Gonna
lose
take your
like,
time away from
yeah, I don't want
wanna
to lose
train,
like one week of jujitsu, you know,
Absolutely.
like after 15 years, like even last night we had our comp training last night, and we just did stand up rounds, takedowns the whole night, like 45 minutes takedowns, people die, and I like, man, I just love this, like so I think that stuff's cool, and I like the culture around it, or like surfing. I think is sick. Me and Gutenberg always watch the 100-foot wave. You guys seen that show on
Gutenberg
HBO?
love surf too.
Man,
I think he
yeah.
likes more surfing than jiu-jitsu.
I think now he might. Yeah, I think now he might. Yeah, I bet he's good at whatever
Yeah.
he's gonna do.
Yeah,
But
Gutenberg is like, it's like a different guy, man.
Yeah,
It's like
no, he's
everything he pick, he get good at.
I
like,
agree.
Anything.
yeah, he's a different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But people told me that before I met him. Like, wait till you meet this guy. He's different. And you're like, all right, yeah, he is. He really is.
Like,
yeah.
On jiu-jitsu, surfing, video game, motherfucker, he plays so good too. Like
With the camera stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, he learns it
He's
fast,
doing good
man.
content. I see he
Yeah.
puts really good content out
yeah,
there.
on the video, like sure, he edit it. He do everything. He film it, he edit it, he
Everything.
do everything. Yeah,
Yeah, man, it's impressive.
it's impressive.
And so, Jake,
And also a very nice guy,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
good looking guy.
It's not right.
It's not right.
so how do you start training, and who was your first professor?
So when I started, I owned a retail guitar store. It's like me and one of my other friends opened this store, and man, we were being lazy, like eating pizza, and you know what I mean. Like, and I like, man, I gotta find something to do. I gotta like just get my energy out. And one of my other friends at the time like called me like, hey, bro, we're training MMA like in this garage. You should come out, check it out. Like, you're tough, you're gonna be fine. All right, man, cool. So I went to like, there's this little town. It's called New Kensington, it's like right outside of Pittsburgh. It was like a tough town, and I went in this like garage, and it was no teacher, like 6 dudes and
Terrifying.
yeah, and it was just like, okay, spar. Like, fuck, man.
What is that?
Yeah, but like I was like, 23, so
I'm gonna put my energy out.
yeah, like, man, let's go, boom, boom, boom. And then like a guy would come show like a triangle choke, but he was like not even a blue belt, just he fought, he knew some things. And so I started to like in that environment, I started to enjoy the grappling more. Like I was like, man, I don't really like getting punched in the face, but
Choking people.
if I push the guy against the wall and slam him on the ground, I do better,
Yeah.
So then I started like looking up jiu-jitsu. I had some friends who were already doing jiu-jitsu, and I would talk to them and be like, man, you gotta try jiu-jitsu. So I had started Googling, and there was like in Pittsburgh, there was 2 schools at the time. Steel City Martial Arts, which was like south of me, and then this school called Rodrigo Junqueira was the guy's name. And I clicked that one, I see the picture, and it was like, bro, he this big Brazilian, like looks like Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know what I mean? Like looking super tough. And I emailed him like, hey, I think I want to come check this out. He emailed me back like, yeah, can you come tonight? Sure. I jump in my car. I think it was like a 45-minute drive. I sat in the parking like, oh man, I'm nervous. You know what I mean? Like, oh
we
man,
should
what's
talk
gonna
about
happen?
this, like how people get nervous
Oh,
to
man.
jump in a new thing, you know, especially for like a fight sport or whatever,
And
combat
and
sport.
again, back to the school is like, I remember that. Like literally your first day is the hardest day.
Yeah.
If you can just,
Stepping in the door,
that's it, man. And then you got to put the gi on. You know what I mean? Like I walk in,
not
he,
know
like,
what to do.
he put this gi on and like feel goofy. You know what I mean? Like
Like,
feel
man,
weird in the
but-
gi.
Maybe I'm a samurai now.
Yeah. And then I remember, man, and this is a cool story because I still train with this guy, but there was like a blue belt. He just got his blue belt. His name was Chris, and Chris went to law school, so they like call him Lawyer Chris. He like, yeah, man, go spar with Lawyer Chris. And in my head, I thought, dude, I'm gonna tune this kid up. Like I thought, like, bro, I'm gonna whoop him because he's like a law school kid. He had like a dorky haircut. You know what I mean? Like, bro, he fold me up like everyone else's story. He like squished me up, choked me like 8 times, and I'm like, damn, dude, like if I learn how to do this, I'm gonna be a savage.
That's right.
And like, it's funny because I love the sport of jiu-jitsu, but at the time, like, my teacher's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to beat people up. Like, if someone talks shit to me in the street, I want to win. I
And
mean,
like,
that's-
no man, relax, you know.
yeah, no, I mean, he liked it. He like, okay, man, come here, And then after training, you start to like, oh man, this is great. So I think I signed up that day. I bought 2 gis,
Can I ask one question? Did that change your life?
100%. I don't think I knew that it was changing my life. I honestly remember I signed a year contract, and I remember thinking like, all right, I'm gonna give a year. I might have even signed a 6-month one, thinking like, I'm
Like
gonna
1 year,
just try,
right away.
And then like a month in, I was every day
Every
in
class.
the class, taking privates, cleaning the mats, making the t-shirts. You know what I mean? Like, I just jumped full in, and then I started being one of the first guys in the area to really like. I was going to IBJJFs. I was going to every seminar. You know what I mean? Like I went to a Pashesha seminar, Purple Belt, and JT Torres, and Kyle Terra, and Sinistro, and
Put in the time.
yeah, and I just loved it. And I just thought, man, this is so cool that it's accessible. Like, the guys come an hour away. I
Yeah.
can just drive, pay somebody money, and then they're gonna show me like
The best
The
move.
the
best
best
technique.
things. Yeah, and like
That's crazy how jiu-jitsu is too accessible. That's
It's
easy because
nuts.
like my other sports, you can't like train or you can't like sometimes talk with the
No, not even
your,
talk.
your the inspiration or whatever. Like you're not gonna play with your basketball superstar.
no,
Never.
and that's what I mean.
But,
I was
like for
jiu-jitsu,
jiu-jitsu,
yeah.
you
yeah,
can.
I've
That's,
been on
like,
vacation with Rodolfo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
And
I
they're
went,
like, what the fuck?
I went to a
That's
resort.
sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I went on a resort. Rodolfo, I'm like,
That's
oh my
right.
god, bro. This is
And
like,
he trying to talk with you, got eating together.
bro, I
That's
sat next to him every day at breakfast. You know what I mean? Like people wouldn't sit next to him. I go like, boom, boom, sit right there.
Yeah.
Hey man, what's up? What's up? But yeah,
Let's roll next round.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
and,
sick, man.
and to me, that was always just like
You're playing basketball with Michael Jordan,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's
It's like,
the,
oh, LeBron James gonna come and talk to you about anything, like,
and
bro,
teach
like,
you his best move.
his best,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be able to do it eventually. Might take you 15 years to understand
But at
what
one
he's
point,
showing you, but eventually you're
look
gonna be
at
able to
that.
do it.
And
you know?
and at the seminars, you see that the athletes, the professors, they really show their things that they have been developing for 10, 20 years, and just they already digested. They put
Yep.
everything in your mouth. Just take
Yeah,
it.
it's like standing on the shoulders of giants. You know, he's like a guy walks in and you just here, boom, stand here and you.
Right
And I
there.
just remember like, you know, some people will maybe not like this, but like from now until from when I started till now, I try to win every round. Like every round in the gym, I try my hardest. You know what I mean? Like even with my students, if you're a blue belt, I'm gonna fight with you like you're a blue belt, but I'm gonna try to win. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna, and I also like that that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not a jerk. I'm not gonna step on you. I'm not gonna hurt you. But like, we can be competitive. I can roll with Max and try. You know what I mean? Like "Argh," nothing
Yeah,
good
yeah.
happens. But like I love that. You know what I mean? I think that's such a cool thing about jiu-jitsu, and the accessibility is like it's accessible like to all. I'm a really competitive person. If I was gonna play like softball, you know, like some guys my
You
age
try
go,
win anyway.
man, they're gonna hate me.
Yeah.
They're like, bro, why are you taking it so serious? And I'm like, man, because I'm serious. Like I like that you can be serious about jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
and go to seminars.
Even it's a hobby. Can
Even
be
if it's a hobby. No,
but,
for
like,
me, I mean, like
serious.
it's my
Yeah.
job, but me competing is a hobby, but
yeah.
but I still get to take it like serious,
Serious.
and people respect it. You know, they're like, oh, okay, we're gonna take it serious too. You know, so
Yeah, and that's hard. Like when you take serious, the other person don't take serious. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
If you take serious, people around you start to take serious
They
too. You know, like your students, like it will be like even like more professional feeling. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
And I think that that's like what's cool about jiu-jitsu also is you can do things like your guys' tournament and IBJJF and step on the same mats as like I remember when I got my black belt, I did the New York Open and like turned to my left and Homolo and was in the warm-up
Getting
area
ready
with me
to
and I'm like,
compete.
oh my god, dude, that's crazy, you know. So it's just the coolest that
And
it's
sometimes the
accessible.
experience of competing with them, right? Competing with your heroes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Hey, but like for
Against
for
them, you know.
Against
like-
them too,
For
yeah.
the new black belts, that's hard, man.
Oh man.
I remember like my first tournament as a black belt. I fight the Copa Pódio on the same brackets like Leandro Lô, Nicolas, Dylan Dennis, Vitor Stima, Trans. Man,
It's
a
like a
lot of
dream
guys
team.
like I'm like, God damn it, man! I watch these guys like
Yeah.
all my life, and now I fight against them. You know what I mean? And that's like
It's awesome.
On the first event, it's like a shock to me.
Oh,
But
yeah.
like after that, Julio told me like, "Hey, you like this guy? You similar with these guys? Like you,
Right,
They,
you're
they
the
know
same.
your idols anymore.
Right.
They are like it.
They're your
they
rivals
fight
now.
with
Yeah,
you. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Stop looking here like it.
Like he's
Idols.
special, right? Yeah.
You like them. Nothing difference between you both. The difference he doing that for a long time. Maybe they get like a Easter behind,
Right.
but like
You're there now.
you're there now.
Yeah, you're there now.
You know that's hard for like
It's
a
hard,
new,
yeah.
new black belts.
Yeah, and especially like, man, Pittsburgh was so different because it was still really new. Like when I started jiu-jitsu, it was still really new.
How long back?
15 years. 15.
15.
It's been 15 years. So like, it's not like it was California though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there was
It wasn't
no
as
jiu-jitsu.
developed
Yeah, and then
as
there
it
was
is.
no jiu-jitsu before. Like
Yeah.
when the school I started in, there was like 8 guys. You know what I mean? It was like me and 8 other guys. I remember like 6 of them got their blue belt on like my second day. So they'd only been there for, you know, a year,
Like
and,
a
a half,
year and a half.
2 max.
Yeah.
And they started in a garage. So like in Pittsburgh, I think it's really
Still brand new.
now bubbling to
It's
like a
growing.
big point. Yeah, where there's like a
That's
lot
the
of
spot we
competition.
look like. Hey, where we think jiu-jitsu is going to grow. Like we're going to areas where jiu-jitsu is being developed. You
Yeah.
know, like it's not overwhelmed yet.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
like San Diego's like so many
Yeah.
schools. Like we
Everywhere
really
you
see
go.
spots. Like we see Pittsburgh growing a lot. You know, Pennsylvania, Maryland,
Yeah.
Virginia.
I think a lot of wrestlers are starting to see it too.
Yeah.
And like, you know, this area, Pennsylvania, you
a lot of fucking
man, you
wrestlers,
can't
yeah.
walk down the street without seeing like a little
Oh yeah,
Boulder
wrestler.
man wrestler. Yeah, but now I think with UFC getting more popular and
Jiu-Jitsu's
jiu-jitsu's
growing.
growing huge. Like now jiu-jitsu's an event to watch on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the flow wrestling always like popular.
Oh, the
and big,
flow
and now,
wrestling
like,
is
Are they
it's
big?
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they like
I mean,
big?
like,
I don't.
I
I
even
didn't know
know-
them until flow
And now
grappling.
probably like the fans or like the people who train when they're young and like don't fight anymore, because once you get that timeline now, like
Right.
when you over the college, if you don't be a professional,
You got nothing.
You're done.
Yeah.
You don't do it anymore. You can like practice
Yeah.
whatever, like
Or it's like you're good enough to go to the
You're done.
Olympics, or
Yeah.
you're done.
You're done.
or you're done. And then these guys start to transition for jiu-jitsu. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You're starting to see a lot
It's a
of
good
it.
transition,
It's a
you know,
cool
to
Good
make.
transition.
I think it's good for
like,
both.
Yeah.
It's good for both. It's gonna overall you can I think since I started jiu-jitsu versus now, just the level of wrestling that you see at any level is so much better.
And like with teaching is so fucking easy to teach these guys. Most of the time they like super coordinated,
Oh,
athletic.
They work hard.
They work hard. They come like I was a guy. I'm like,
Oh yeah, thank
Thanks,
God.
God, for the
yeah,
gift.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, we got one guy at our school. His name's Jake Fenton, and like the first day he walked in, I looked at him like, "Bro, you wrestled, right?" Yeah. Like, you gonna compete? Yeah. I'm like, oh, thank you. This
yeah.
is the
And like
guy.
these guys can get ready to compete. Like
They do it every weekend since they're 5.
Yeah.
You know,
Crazy.
yeah. So it's really cool. But
It's easy. Like the jiu-jitsu will be welcome to everyone.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I just should try say, don't understand me wrong. It's like easy to teach these guys because it's a lot of movements they use already.
Yeah.
We can connect to jiu-jitsu. That I mean, a lot of background from all his life. He shoot double legs all his life for most
Right.
of the time. You know, since he like 5 years old. Gonna be easy. He should double leg on somebody.
Who
and
doesn't
now,
know anything,
And now I
yeah.
just need to show him like how to open a guard and pass
Yeah,
his guard.
that's it.
And he 5-0
and defend
somebody.
the neck, defend your neck, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw that a lot of judo guys too.
Yeah.
Take the guys
That's like,
down,
yeah,
hold,
the guy,
stand
yeah.
up, boom, take
Yep,
down,
the
stand
same
up,
thing.
take down.
Yeah.
There's
Just make it easy.
hey, Ron. Shout out to Ron. Ron is
Shout out to Ron, man.
Man, Ron is the I think is the
Musa.
top
The top
listener right
nice.
here.
Let's go, Ron.
Ron, shout out to Ron, guys. He has a question here. When it's question time, do either of you have a favorite scene from a move that displays jiu-jitsu?
Man. Yeah, sure. It's Lethal Weapon 1. The first one where Mel Gibson at the end, he triangle chokes the guy to death. I think Hoist Gracie even was like worked on the movie and said like, oh man, we got to do this. But I remember thinking like as a kid, like, dang, I'm old enough to have seen the Lethal Weapon movies, you know what I mean? And then like, you're like, man, he choked him with his legs? Like to death? And then,
And he died?
years later. Yeah, he died years later. That. I think, and then the John Wick movies are sick,
I don't have a jiu-jitsu much for me because in Brazil, growing as a kid, I think I watched a lot of Jean-Claude Van Damme. I
Yeah.
like to watch fight moves already. I remember the one that he gets things on his
Yeah, yeah.
arms. He fights
Bloodsport.
Is that
Bloodsport,
Bloodsport?
yeah.
That's the name. That was a cool one, and there's a capoeira one too. Do you remember the capoeira?
He did like Lionheart was the one where he was like a kickboxer. He did a bunch, man. I
Yeah.
loved all those movies, man.
Yeah, no, I
grew
like
up on that. I had
Jean-Claude
two
Van Damme. I
brothers.
like
Yeah.
watching his.
I had two brothers. We always watched martial arts movies,
Yeah. Like
I was saying,
Ron say like lethal weapon.
Yeah,
Little
Lethal
Weapon,
yeah.
Weapon.
Yeah. Lethal.
love that scene. Thomas
Nice.
said here. Shout out to Thomas too, guys. Comment. You guys can send questions for Jake for
Yeah, jump
us.
in.
Yeah.
Mostly Jake. He's the guest. Like he's the most important guy here.
Let's go. Thank you.
So send questions for him.
Yeah, sure. But that
So I have one question. So before we met, I remember seeing cause I'm Alliance, right?
Right.
So I saw you were under Marcelo Garcia.
So my first coach trained with Marcelo when they were blue belts together under a guy named Paulo Hazente. And then my first coach
back in Brazil.
yeah, when he was back in Brazil, and then when he moved to the States, originally he was just himself. He didn't have an association, and then when Marcelo opened his school and started to talk about doing associations, my coach was one of the first guys to affiliate with Marcelo. So when I was like a purple belt, blue and purple belt. I fought for Alliance with under Rodrigo.
Is that how you met Sinistrinho?
Man,
The guys?
how
Johnny,
I met
you met
Sinistro,
Johnny
I met
Tamarai?
Johnny. Yeah, so a lot of that comes from there was a guy who lived in New York. His name's Michael Schweiger. You actually might remember Mike. He trained with
Mike,
us
he
for
takes
a while.
pictures, right? Some like a people's I think. Has
Oh
like
no,
a,
different guy. You're
Is that a
thinking
different guy?
But
Alright.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
He
but
did
this
that
guy
push
was
the
like
pace,
Did you see
yeah,
that?
he did like the people of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that guy.
It's a
His name's
different
Mike
person.
too. Yeah,
Mike,
different
right?
guy. But he did train.
He was Alliance too.
Yeah, so they were at Fabio's, right?
Fabio Clemente.
Yeah, Fabio Clemente. So, who's also a super nice guy. He was just at my school last summer.
That's
he
awesome.
came with Veda.
He
It was
becomes
awesome.
checkmate.
Yeah,
right?
he's checkmate now. Yep. So yeah, my coach, my first coach affiliated with under Marcelo, and that's how I came up. And then when I was a brown belt, I kind of went on my own path, and that's when I met the GF team guys. And here
You
we
start
are.
connecting.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
So I mean, I had the privilege of going to Marcelo's a bunch of times and learning under him, and
The legend.
yeah, he was always great. You know, it was awesome to learn from him.
You
And
got some like X squad details there. No?
yeah, I remember he
Single leg X.
yeah, it was
all
like that single leg X guillotine. He was one of the first guys too who was like heavy in the nogi. You know,
He was
like
building up.
yeah, he did like a lot of nogi classes where like my school when I started every class was in the gi. We did every class in the gi.
And he won an ADCC many times. You know,
Oh,
like it was a big.
He was the man.
thing,
I mean,
yeah.
like when I was starting, like
He's
that
still,
was it.
like-
He's still the man. Yeah, and I would
still
look
a
and just be
legend,
like,
yeah.
man, this guy's the man, and he
We
was
hope,
super nice and.
Hope one day we'll bring you Marcelo here.
that'd be awesome,
Marcelo
man.
Garcia. That would be great.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, so I was there when Bernardo was there. Bernardo would
Bernardo.
come to our school and do seminars and stuff like that. And but I met Sinistro through this guy Michael Schweiger, who was studying philosophy at NYU and training jiu-jitsu at Fabio's, and then ended up being Sinistro's roommate. But the kid was from Pittsburgh, so he came home for like a break from college. He stopped in my school and trained. I was like, oh man, another purple belt, like. Boom, you know. So I started training with him, and then he said to me like, "Hey, bro, like, you should bring Sinistro here." And I remember I talked with my coach, and my coach was like, he would go back to Brazil between Christmas and New Year's, and so he would just close the gym, but he gave me the key, like, you can train, you can do.
Yeah.
So I like call him like, you know, hey, is it cool
Let's
if I bring
train,
this guy? And he, yeah, man, bring him. So Sinistro came. I think he trained with us like 2 or 3 days. And that was the first guy that like opened my eyes to like a high level of jiu-jitsu. Like different than anyone else. He's different than anyone else I've trained with since. You know what I mean? Like the way he thinks about it. And the fact that he was
a
like,
brown belt at the time.
yeah, I think he had just gotten his brown belt. Or I think maybe the first time he was still purple belt and then got his brown belt right after that. But I just remember he was the first guy that was like, man, come to New York. Come train with me. Come train with Fabio. Here's my friend Johnny Tama. Bring him.
Nice.
So I just started like I would bring Sinistro. Actually, his brother just came to my school like a month ago. His oldest brother, who's also very very good, Juan. And so yeah, I linked with those guys, and I think that was more of a Sinistro and
Soluso, his brother, right?
So Soluso's the guy he got the black belt under.
What's
So
his
Soluso,
brother?
his brother's Juan Miguel, and then Leo, are like his. two
No,
older
that's
brothers.
right, Leo. I
Yeah,
met Leo.
and they're
I met
both
Leo.
like they both have their own schools. They're both black belts in
Yeah, yeah.
Ecuador, and
I think I met Leo only.
I know Sinistro by the words, Abu Dhabi words, you know,
Yeah.
final. He fight with the Vitor Silvério, purple belt. And
Yep.
man, Vitor Silvério is like the heavier, the like ripped
yeah,
lightweight on that.
And-
on that
and
time,
mean
purple
too,
belt,
bro.
man. Like
Middleweight,
bone,
middleweight.
Lightweight.
He move up
If
the
they-
middleweight,
yeah, but
right.
like on that,
At this
if
time,
they
he was-
fought,
yeah.
And then like they waiting before he got to wait for lightweight. I'm like, man, nobody go stop Vitor Silvério. And now we train together, you know, on GFT. Like this guy like look like a killer.
Yeah.
And they did like a war, and Silvério lost to Sinistro. I'm like,
yeah.
what the fuck is
And
this
was like
guy,
a
man?
beautiful
Sinistro
jiu-jitsu.
stuff.
too.
Beautiful
Like,
jiu-jitsu. Like no,
back
they
and
fight.
forth,
If you
like-
guys go on YouTube and
That's one to
share
watch.
this fight, like it's great.
I
Vitor
remember,
Silvério and
yeah,
Sinistro.
Vitor Silvério,
Worlds,
I
I
was-
think like maybe 2011, 12, something like that.
You remember when he did the brown belt kumite with Lloyd
I
Irvin?
remember it's around here on the
Bro,
radio.
that stuff, man.
That's
like
fun.
if you guys haven't watched that on YouTube, like that's one to pull up.
right.
You know, that was like one of my
Right.
favorites. Man, I watched that and you remember like Gary Tony kept grabbing
Yeah,
his
he's
hands.
doing-
And then, wow. And I was like, man, I like this kid, you know?
He's fun. He's a nice
yeah,
kid.
he's cool, man. So
Long time I don't see him, man. He like
he's Gracie Barra
Gracie
now.
Barra.
now he
yeah.
Gracie Baja life has changed a little bit. He moved to Miami at one point.
MMA, doing MMA,
open
it looks
his
like,
school,
right?
and
Yeah.
then moved to California, get on Gracie Baja.
But he's always a guy. I mean, there's those guys that like, and Sinistro's one of them for me that like, bro, I don't care if he wins. I just like, I want to watch him fight every time.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? If I'm somewhere, he's gonna fight. Like if Sinistro said, bro, I'm gonna do a kickboxing match, I'm like, bro, it's gonna be
Okay, I wanna
exciting.
see.
Yeah, he's gonna something cool is gonna happen there. And I always loved that about his style was like, man, he just goes for the kill. You know, he just goes for it. And if he loses, he loses. You know, like I never seen Sinistro score 2 points and
And hold.
hold the guy. You know, so
I remember we came up together.
Sorry,
we came
guys,
up
to don't be
together.
that excited.
I love scoring 2 points and holding, bro. I'm not Sinistro, man. That's why I like his, man,
Yeah.
because it's easy to hold, man.
We know that's the magic by jiu-jitsu, man. You get like a lot of.
But
of
your
weird
division is
styles,
different,
you know,
right? Like
yeah.
your division is like
Yeah, like
bigger
big
guys.
And
I just kill it, but I think I move well to my
You
size.
move a lot.
You
Because
move
you
like a
came
lightweight.
Maxim moves like a lightweight.
like a lightweight, yeah.
Some
You don't
days,
expect,
Some
like, you
days
don't think?
I'm lazy.
But no, man, Sinistro is a great guy.
Yeah.
But and we have a question here from Melissa. People are talking, man, great podcast. Ricardo, shout out to Ricardo. He said shout out to Jake.
Hey, what's up, Ricardo?
He said he fought with Victor, such a nice guy. Sinistro, such a nice guy. And Melissa, she has a question. Thanks for her daughter. And her daughter's competing a lot of PBJJF fights. I know her. She actually did an interview around with.
Oh
Kid
yeah,
Kid, you
yeah,
remember?
yeah. Evelyn.
Evelyn.
She's great, man.
Evelyn's at school, but wanted to leave a question for Professor Jake. How do you handle emotions when you are competing?
Man. So I would actually say for a long time, not well. I would be like very, very, very nervous. Until I started to realize like that's part of it. And when you learn, like I learned how to be like really happy that I have something in my life that can make me feel nervous. You know, I think a lot of people just go through their day, like they wake up, they get in their car, they go to work, they come home, they wake up, they get
Something that you really care.
yeah, and it's like, man, if I didn't care about this, like my
That's
my
right.
heart wouldn't
You
race.
wouldn't.
I wouldn't be like nervous, and so I think that's one thing is like once I realized like this is a good feeling. This is something that you can like embrace. Is like when you feel really strong emotions is like when you know you're really alive. You know, it's like you just go through your day, just boom, 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 boom. You don't really feel anything. So I think that one is you have to learn to embrace it, and then you have to also just frame it in the right way. So like I understand that if I lose at a tournament, it's just one match that didn't go my way. It's just one day that didn't go my way, you know, and
nothing's changed behind that.
No,
People
nothing
lose
changes.
love,
Doesn't
people
change
hate
who you
love,
are.
Like people
Yeah.
hate you.
And if you win the same thing, you know,
yeah,
like
and it's
man,
true. And you have to think you should only put yourself in situations that you feel like you can disappoint yourself. Because if you disappoint yourself, you're gonna care and you're gonna fix it. You know, if I've had tournaments where you go out and man, I remember actually was the DC Open one time. I fought and as soon as I got off the mat, my wife looked at me like, what was that? And I like, yeah, that was terrible. Like just wasn't my day. But then you just have to learn like, okay, cool. Then the next one maybe is
We'll
gonna
move
be my
on.
day, you know?
Like we talk like Jeff come here. He told like you guys fought on
Yeah.
New York and when you guys broke
And
out.
he beat me. Yeah.
Like, that match started like crazy. Pull guard, connect a loopy choke.
I almost had him.
So I almost had he like man, I black out.
Dude, he was snoring like.
Yeah.
And then when I remember he pulled his head on, I like.
and he's competing PBJJF
Yeah.
Japan.
I think I'm.
what?
All right, Jeff. I might have to see you there, bro. I might have to see you there. He's getting big though, bro.
He's getting
Yeah,
strong.
Yeah,
getting
dude. You see,
strong.
he's doing the bodybuilding
Yeah,
stuff.
we
and
just should roll on
that's good.
Sunday. He's strong, man.
Man, he's
like,
good.
Heavy than
He's a
than
nice
before,
guy,
Yeah.
and that's another cool thing about jiu-jitsu is, most of the people are super cool, man. Like even the guys you compete against, afterwards you can be friends, and I'm before cool, man. You're not my enemy, but you're not my friend.
Yeah.
But after, man, it's all
All
good.
good.
You need those guys.
You
You
need-
need the people to
They
compete
push you,
against,
yeah.
to push you to, and it's one of these things like if I ever see Jeff fighting a fight to win or I root for
guys,
him.
yeah.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because the more he wins, the better I look since he beat me. You know?
That's a good way to look. I never think about that.
Yeah, bro. Like, hey, man, I hope he wins a lot. So they're like, oh, you lost to the good guy. Okay, man. Cool.
That's cool.
Alan Pinho. Do you know Alan Pinho?
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
That's
Pão
it.
de
Oh,
queijo. Do you know we
queijo.
came up with a nickname
Yeah.
for him, right?
Yeah, cheese bread.
Yeah.
We came to Pittsburgh, man. He's such a nice guy.
Dude,
Him and
he's-
all the crew that helped us to set up the event,
Yeah, he's all heart, man.
work at the event, man.
He got
Alan
his blue
Pinho,
belt, you know.
Pão de
He
queijo.
did get his blue belt.
He
Yeah.
He did a really good tournament last time. He put
had
the
a
work.
great
He
tournament,
fought like
yeah. And I didn't give him the blue belt after that one. You know, made him wait a little bit more.
Nice.
he asked
You know?
he asked about Cruzeiro.
That's the team, I guess. You know, so yeah,
Oh, man.
No.
So listen.
He's not giving the best advice.
I know, but here's the thing. Let me tell you what it is. I'm like I ride for my guys. You know what I mean? And I never care about soccer in my life, dude. And this kid come in like
Cruzeiro.
every day, bro. Every day. And the fact that he has like that emotion,
passion.
yeah, I want to be a part of it with him. So you know what I mean? Like I like when he's watching the score on his phone is fun to like root with him. You know what I mean? And man, so I got myself a Cruzeiro jersey and we took a picture for his dad. His dad's crying. You know what I mean? So like
That's awesome.
yeah, we don't. I kind of understand because you know we have American football and like especially in Pittsburgh that is like a thing. Like
Pittsburgh was Pittsburgh at the Super Bowl.
not
Philadelphia.
was, right.
Philadelphia.
But we have a historic team. We have the most Super Bowls, you know, of all time. And it's like a thing where like your grandpa loves it.
Yeah, it passed
Your dad,
generation to
this,
generation.
this, and
Yeah.
that.
No, just before I realized about this, we had a Brave hoodie, black and yellow.
Yeah.
Everybody, like you Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's true.
That's it.
Everywhere. Here, grocery store, Pittsburgh. It's
Because
like-
Pittsburgh's one of those things too. So we have 3 sports teams: the Pirates, the Steelers, and the Penguins, but all the same color. They all do black and gold.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's cool because you just wear black and gold.
Then
You're
you
good. You know what I mean?
represent
It's like yeah, like a bunch of other places like the basketball team's one color, the football team's one color, but Pittsburgh's black and gold.
Yeah,
Black and
you know.
purple people like.
Yeah. Baltimore people hate the Steelers. You know? But yeah, so I mean,
Ravens, right? Here.
Yeah, that's
Ravens.
it.
I'm not really educated about football. I ask sometimes.
You have to go to a game in person because I think that's what I always tell Alan. I'm like, man, we don't have anything the same as soccer. Like just the cheering and that energy is really cool, you know. But football's
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never
American
been to.
football's the
I only
closest.
went to baseball. Only baseball, I think.
Yeah, baseball is
super
slow.
hard to understand, man.
it's
It's
like a
hard to
thinking
understand.
game. It's slow. It's for talking.
It's
like,
I think the experience, like they
Yes.
show the things they like put in there. They at least here the Orioles.
Yep.
They had like the hot dogs
Yeah,
raised.
right.
They have everywhere.
everywhere. Yep, we do pierogies in
And
Pittsburgh. They like
You're running.
yeah. So that's more of like you go with your family and
Have fun.
have some
talk,
beers
yeah.
and talk. And football's more like, man, we're gonna go
That's
cheer
fun.
and hate the
Yeah.
other team, and you know,
like
Maybe
in Brazil,
I
soccer is
did
like that in Brazil too.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
No, soccer.
It's crazy.
Energy is crazy.
yeah.
Soccer
Dude, I don't think
is-
there's anything that can compare. Just I mean, the closest thing that I actually ever felt, I think was 2011, Bochecha Rodolfo absolute final, and I remember the two teams like, there was the year all the GF team guys was blonde.
Blonde.
That was the year I like, man, these guys, I want to be with these
That's
guys.
the last time I have hair.
Yeah, that was it. Man, I remember there.
After I get my hair blonde, I always don't have much. You know,
Right.
since I'm like 18, man, I started
Yeah,
losing
same.
hair. But like when after this tournament, I get blonde. I don't know. I think the chemical.
Just like made it go away. That was it. Killed
After
it.
that, it's done. I
Yeah.
never have hair anymore.
Man, I'll remember that tournament for the rest of my life because, like, everywhere you went, you knew where the GF team guys were. Because it'd be like 20 dudes with,
That's
with
right,
blonde,
blonde
hair,
hair.
like screaming,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
loud as hell.
We have like the gray shirts.
Yep. And I just remember
Green.
Man, I'll just never forget. And then I remember like was Bochecha and Rodolfo, and then they were waiting for the final,
Yeah.
and the ref waited.
What year was that?
I think it was 2011.
He fought
Well,
Léo
12.
Nogueira. Léo Nogueira. He beat Léo Nogueira that year, right?
On the final.
I remember that was that was
2012.
Rodolfo vai te
That's it.
pegar.
Yeah.
Rodolfo.
Yeah, and I
Yeah, I
remember
can
saying
feel- I
like
can
that's
feel
what I
this.
mean. Man. And I
I
was
remember.
there,
No,
man.
everybody could
Was
feel.
crazy.
I was on the other side. Everybody could feel.
And then I remember Atos sat with GF team was cheering too
Yeah.
against Czech Matt.
Against-
They were like right in
and,
the
and
corner.
everybody was
Apples
hey,
get to each
Yup.
other.
and everybody was against Alliance that year.
Yep.
Everybody like talking about the steroid
Yep.
stuff, right? The pharmacy,
Yeah.
something
We-
like
we
that,
talk-
you know.
we talk about
Things
that.
don't
Talking-
change. Things don't change.
Yeah.
That's what I
Since
mean.
that time.
It's funny, man. The same arguments happened from when I was blue belt. They still happen. Like
And then
gonna
the
go
guys
away?
would be GFT only has Rodolfo. Remember
Yeah.
that? Something like that.
yep.
And
Man.
we should like we thought like, hey, get away! The ghetto guys were here.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
And
They
Rodolfo's here to
Portuguese.
kill you.
Yeah.
So I remember that because I asked my coach, bro, what are they saying? And he said like, bro, he's saying like, they call us GF team. We came from the favelas.
Yeah.
Rodolfo's here to kill you. And I was just like, bro, put that on a shirt. Like, print that on a shirt. I'm buying that shirt. Like, that's hard as hell. And
That's funny.
and I
And
remember
that's
like,
such experience, right? Like being there.
man, I think it's something everyone who loves jiu-jitsu should go to the world championships and
Hey, and
feel
that's
that,
why.
you know.
That's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
We want people here to have that experience
and-
without having to go all the way there.
And that's what I think is great,
on
man.
our backyard, you can drive.
And especially with the way that traveling is now. You know what I mean? The flights 2011, man, was a different world, bro. Like
Yeah,
you could get
cheaper.
on an airplane and it's going to be on time.
Yeah.
They're going to treat you nice. You're going to land, everything's going to
True.
be good. Now the stress, that's why I love what you guys are doing because I mean, man, the biggest thing for me is the referees. If the referees do a good job, the whole day goes good.
Yeah.
You know, and I
If
think
you run on
overall,
time and the heifers do a good job.
oh, double good. You know what I mean? Like I can even deal with it being a little bit late if the referees are doing a good
Yeah.
job. You know, and I think overall in all of jiu-jitsu, like it's getting better because of things like PBJJF and
IBJJF,
IBJJF, like raise the
other,
standards. You know, I mean, to me, IBJJF was always the goal, like the coolest thing, like the best, and I think that
Yeah.
it's
They
gonna
are,
change.
like,
They
the biggest one.
They
like,
are.
the awesome
They've been around the
they
longest.
they inspire us, you
Right,
know, like
yeah.
to do better.
There's
to,
room for more,
to grow,
you know?
to
Yeah.
try, you know, to
100%.
spread the word of jiu-jitsu.
But
you
that
know?
leads to a lot of room too. Like they come from DC, man, one time a year.
Yeah.
When they come,
They don't
It's
come
like-
to Pittsburgh. I mean, like that's
They
what I mean.
come
If you're a
from
guy in
Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh,
they're like-
you have to get on a plane to compete. You have to.
Yeah.
then like when we bring more
Like-
competition, more attention for the other. it's
And
great.
we
Like,
want to do something where like man, like we're doing DC, man, we can drive to DC and
Right.
come back next day.
Yeah.
Like we all Pittsburgh
Yeah.
schools can come to Worlds.
Oh, 100%.
in DC
And I mean, we're
and
coming
come
in
back.
pants.
You know, pans. You know, like we're like the people from North Carolina can come to DC,
Yeah.
can come to Maryland, and maybe we're like, hey, next year let's do a Pittsburgh big support,
Right.
man. Let's do in Pittsburgh. So now people come to Pittsburgh.
Right.
Next time, let's do in New Jersey.
Right.
Let's do in New York. You know, we're like.
Yeah. it's-
Maybe changing areas, like travel with the tournament, you know,
It's
like
cool.
if possible,
Yeah,
of
because
course.
I remember especially like when I was coming up, they had like Grappler's Quest on this side of the country.
I remember
It was like
Grappler's
Grappler's
They
Quest.
are
Yeah.
big back
Are
in
they
the day,
still
yeah.
running?
No, I
but
don't
no.
think
They
so.
quit.
And it
They're
was-
big- they had big names competing
was
too.
yeah, I mean that's like where I learned about Ryan Hall and those guys was like Grappler's Quest. But since that went away, the East Coast really, you know, and they stopped doing the New York Open after
True.
COVID. I don't
After
think it's gonna
COVID,
come
they
back. That
stopped.
was always one of my favorite tournaments to do, and
I love fighting New York.
yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
I like Invincible. In
Yeah.
New York. Nobody beats me in New York.
Yeah, nice. I've been there. Yeah, it's a good. So I think competing's good, and I think is the thing that's important is that I always tell my students is you want to find the tournaments that treat you like a competitor, not a customer. Because if they just take your money,
Yes.
you're just a customer, they don't care. You know what I mean? And that's why I like the PBJJF. That's why I like IBJJF. It feels like when you're there, you're thinking about the competitor, like understanding his experience or her experiences.
It's about
is
the
important,
experience.
you know?
We think about the competitor, we think about coaches,
Yeah.
and we think
parents.
about family.
Yeah.
People that come to be the spectator,
Right.
you know, like we wanna
Make it good for everyone.
for everybody because we believe that people that come to watch our events, that don't train jiu-jitsu are gonna be inspired to
Yeah.
start training
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, and then more jiu-jitsu will grow. More people will bring
Yep.
for the benefits of jiu-jitsu, of seeing their friends happier, of seeing their friends getting fit,
Yeah.
right? Getting
Making new friends,
making
Yeah,
friends,
like,
having fun. You know, like man, that might inspire other people to join jiu-jitsu.
I think it. 100%
And that's going to
does.
grow jiu-jitsu in
Yeah.
our
100%
view. You know,
Yeah.
like
And it
and
doesn't
those-
matter where he's gonna train.
yeah,
No, that-
he
that's
maybe
the thing.
come back to school, where school grow,
wherever.
come back to another school, but jiu-jitsu grow as a whole. If
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu grow, we all grow.
And that's how I feel, man. Like, and I actually think that Pittsburgh's really good about this. Like, kind of everyone gets along.
Gets along, yeah.
You know, there's not really any heat. I mean, I'm
Same-
sure there's
same
some
in
people
Maryland.
who
Yeah,
don't,
yeah.
you know, here and there don't. I'm sure maybe there's going to be some comments like, I don't like that guy. But overall, it's like, you know, I always think like, man, we're
How
not
long you train jiu-jitsu?
15 years now.
Respect.
Yeah.
15
You know,
years.
you put a little
15 years, you
respect.
gotta
Just a
respect.
little, just a
Not
little.
15 days.
Yeah.
You know, we got the time, and every day, man. And I still train every day with my students. You know, I roll with everybody, but
The left style is magic.
yeah, is the best. And I think that that's the thing is like we don't all have to enjoy it the same way or in the same place. Like I always think like there's schools that are very different than mine in Pittsburgh, and it's good because the guys who don't want to be at my school,
They
they're
have
gonna
other
go like
places.
another school, man.
And it has a space.
It
for
does
everyone.
not
all
have
good.
to be the same
No, it's all
way.
good. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways, and it's like I think that there's only room for more. More schools would be good. More tournaments would be
will.
good. More, yeah. It's
We believe jiu-jitsu here will grow tremendously.
I think so.
It will.
I think
grow
it's just starting.
tremendously.
I mean, the growth that I've seen even just since I opened the gym is crazy.
It's so much room still to grow,
Tons,
and
tons.
jiu-jitsu is growing so much.
Yeah,
Like
so fast.
our beliefs as a company, we believe that jiu-jitsu is gonna be the number one practicable martial arts in the world.
100%.
You know,
Yeah, 100%. For I think,
and
for a
that's
lot
our
of
goal
reasons.
to be part of it. To
Yeah.
help, you know, to
And
grow.
I think honestly, that's what everyone's goal should be. And jiu-jitsu is one of those things. Like if someone does it for a while, they don't stop talking about it. They don't stop loving it. They don't stop.
they bring people in.
Yeah.
And you gotta do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Almost missionaries, right?
No, I feel this. Like
Most of my students
100%.
bring somebody to the gym.
100%.
That's like easy.
Is the best. I mean, and I think too, like most of my friends do jiu-jitsu. I actually have a hard time sometimes dealing with people who don't because I understand like, man, there's this whole thing that you don't understand. Like,
yeah.
Like this whole like I can hold you down on the floor, bro. Like you can say whatever you want,
That's
but
right.
I can hold you down on the floor until you cry. You know what I mean? Like, and unless someone knows that or you see in them, like it changes them. Then you're like, come here, man, come on, come try.
Join
this, come try."
the.
I mean,
join
that-
the tribe. Join the tribe.
and that's literally, I think, I mean, that's all it started for me when I opened my school was like, I was just bringing everybody, boom, 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 boom. And then I had an opportunity, like, I just put my own mats here and then boom, boom, boom. And
Yeah, talk a little bit about that. How
yeah, so,
How
uh,
is-
you were in another location before,
so,
right?
I mean, I've been
I've been
through,
on the first one.
yeah, the first one was crazy. So, like, I came up with my first coach, and my first coach, when I was like a brown belt, he had to, or no, I was a purple belt. He had to move to Atlanta because of his wife's job. And he basically took me out to dinner, sat me down and said, like, listen, either the gym goes away because I can't be here all the time, or you're going to have to
Take over.
take over. So when I was a purple belt for like 2 years, I had my regular job, and then I would go to the gym, open the gym, teach the class, clean the mats, go home, right? And he would come like every 2 weeks, and we would train, and he would kind of, you know, guide the technique, and then it was up to me to like, so from purple belt, which was a big responsibility, man. Like,
Yeah.
a purple belt, like we would have brown belts come from other schools, and I like, oh,
Train, yeah.
I have to beat this guy now.
But you put a lot of work, right?
Oh,
before,
every,
like you
I mean, and I loved it. That's the thing is, and I also think that, and I'm still good at this. Is like I understand I don't have every answer, you know, like, but I'm good at finding answers. You know, like so if I don't know it, I'm
You
gonna
figure it
know
out.
who's gonna know it. I'm
But
gonna
like nobody know everything,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
and
It's
that's
impossible.
and once you realize that, it makes
Yeah.
teaching easier, right? So I was teaching a lot, and then
and the things we know, we forget a lot of times too.
yeah, oh, that's it all the time, yeah, or basic things,
Yeah.
like,
Or we don't use as much, you know.
Right.
Like, man, I used to do this a
right,
lot.
yeah, like oh yeah, I used to do this one a lot, and now I don't do this
I love
anymore,
when
and
students come with something I don't know.
Oh, it's
or
the
like
best.
or I don't do it normally, and I say like, man, I don't know what I tell you, but I will figure out.
Yep,
I
that's
back
it.
at home, studio, ask some friends. Then
That's
I mean,
it.
man, I know most of the guys from jiu-jitsu. I send a
Right,
message or
someone's
whatever,
gonna
like
know.
somebody gonna help me.
And
you
people
know?
like to share.
Yeah.
That's the
Uh-huh.
thing is if you ask the right people and you-
People send videos, man.
Yep.
I send a message to
All the time.
Iago, do a lot of invert de la
Yep.
Riva, you know. Send a message here like couple months ago, ask about one detail. He filmed,
Yeah.
sent to me.
especially with the phones now
Yeah.
is awesome. So yeah, so I was teaching and then my instructor moved back. And he rightfully went back to teaching every day, but then I kind of felt this like, man, I have built kind of my own crew. And so at first I went with him and I said like, man, can I open an affiliate school under you? And he, yeah, no problem, cool. And at the time I was lifting weights in this gym of this guy named Ryan Selly.
He's a fun guy.
Yeah, he's the man. Blue belt in jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
now. He's actually getting shoulder surgery today. So guys, if you're out there, give
Good
some
luck,
good vibes
good
for
luck,
him. Yeah,
yeah.
give some good vibes for him. But
I
he was like
remember-
a,
sorry. I remember his first class.
yeah,
We was there
with his
me,
kid.
Me and
Yep.
and Gutenberg is there.
Yep. And so he was like a world record powerlifting like monster, right? And he was helping me, training me to lift weights. And then he kind of said like, hey man, I'm gonna expand some space in my gym. Do you want to start teaching jiu-jitsu classes? Like, yeah, man, perfect. So we work out a little deal. He helped me out a lot at the beginning, like really cheap rent, like help me out.
Making work.
Yeah. He loves jiu-jitsu. You know, he thinks it's really cool. So he was like, yeah, let's make it work. And I did that for about a year, and the school started to like take off. Like, and then what we did is we would just go to tournaments, like 20 of us, and just we wouldn't win the team trophy, but 20 guys would win 20 gold medals. You know what I mean? Like all our guys would win. And then I started wanting to do things more different than,
Going your
than my
way.
coach, my way, you know. And we had a conversation. It didn't necessarily go the best, but it is all good now, you know. But at that point I split, and I was just a brown belt doing my school, and I kind of didn't know where to go. And this is when I met Abraham.
Abraham,
Yeah, so I met
I love
Abraham
this
Marte.
guy. So great.
Yeah,
One of
man.
the crazy guys and funny
yeah.
guys on the world.
Hey,
He's insane.
Remember him at Worlds against Cavaco?
Ah, when he walked out of bounds.
And then his face like,
What happened, dude? Bro, so this is before I was friends with him. I followed him the whole tournament. Like, bro, look at this maniac guy. Because if you guys don't know Abe, man, he's humongous. He's got a huge, big voice and a big personality.
Yeah.
And
Really
so-
nice guy too,
Oh, he's
man.
He's one of the best, man. And Abe helped me out a ton, right? Like a lot. But this same guy who introduced me to Sinistro, actually, Abraham was teaching a seminar at Fabio Clemente School, and he needed to go to Toledo to train with Gutenberg and Dante. And he said, like, I need somewhere in between. And
Stop
my
by
friend
at,
called me and said, hey, bro, can you bring Abraham Marte? I'm like, yeah, dude, that big crazy guy, like, bring him. So Abe came down like a tornado, you know, like came through Pittsburgh, like, knock everything around, blow everything up. But he instantly like,
Got
man,
your heart.
yeah, and he would just be like spending hours with me in the gym. You know what I mean? Like just talking about jiu-jitsu, just playing positions, just doing things. And then I said before, like I got to go on a trip with Rodolfo. That was Abraham. Abraham, like, man, I'm setting up this
Was
camp.
he GFT already that time?
This is when he just became. It
became
was like he
GF team.
just became GF team. So originally we
did he compete that Worlds as a GFT? No, right?
no, he was Yamasaki.
Yamasaki.
Yeah, and then it was after that. I think he said like, man, I wanna. He always spoke about Julio being like, man, I need the knowledge. I need to go where the source of the knowledge is with the guys. You know, so he was at GF team, and so then I went to Dominican Republic for like 2 weeks. It was Cyborg, Abraham, and Rodolfo, and I mean, I was like the biggest Rodolfo fan, girl. Like that guy was my
Rodolfo was the
he's my favorite.
Yeah,
Like,
I do it for a generation, man.
yeah,
Crazy.
and again, that's a guy that like, bro, I don't care if he wins or I mean, I want him to win, but like, he gonna fight like a warrior, dude. Like you're gonna love his matches,
will.
you know. And so originally,
like a train wreck.
yeah, just straightforward.
Drive through.
So originally, my school, we affiliated. Abraham's school in the Dominican was called Basico, and so originally he like, hey man, you should just be Basico, but we were then competing under GF team, and shortly after that, like Abraham was like, man, you got to come up to Toledo You got to
Connect
meet
with the guys.
and you got to meet this kid Gutenberg, and you got to meet this kid Dante. And I went up, and like it was me, the other black belt of my school, whose name's Mike Lewin, and we went up. And at this point, like Abraham was like the toughest dude we'd ever met, train with. Like he just beat the shit out of us. He wasn't nice about it either. He just crushed us and laughed, and And then I remember I went up and Gutenberg like put it to him. You know what I mean? Like it was like, oh my God, you see this guy's beating Abe? Like who's this kid?
How?
Yeah, like just like
Yeah.
what is going on here, man? Like this is
Man, go to a brown belt in that time.
was
man.
brown belt, yeah, and still looked like a baby.
Yeah.
Like I would look at him and be like, this is a kid. Like this is insane. This kid is so. And then I remember like, how long you been training jiu-jitsu? He like, 6 years, something like that. Like, fuck, man. God damn. And so yeah, man. And so Toledo was like a 3.5 hour drive from Pittsburgh, and man, we just tried to go up as much as we could. We went to
Share
Zebra
that.
Adolfo, and I just thought, man, like this is so close. Like I was always the kid. That's what I mean. When I started jiu-jitsu, I drove an hour to train, an hour home, an hour to train, an hour home. So to drive 3 hours to go train with Gutenberg was
It's not that bad.
Easy.
was
Not that
easy.
bad,
Man.
yeah.
Man, it was easy. I mean, man, if I didn't have the responsibilities of having the school and doing that, I'd still be getting in my car every weekend and go to train with someone or whatever. And so it was like to me, it didn't even seem like an option. You know what I mean? It seemed like if I really love jiu-jitsu, how I say I love jiu-jitsu,
I should do.
I have to, because this guy's so good and he's willing
To share the
with me
knowledge.
for nothing, man. Literally nothing, bro. Like.
Just need to get there.
Yeah, and that's crazy. I mean, like, and it's a thing where I would like even sit there and be like, bro, like, you should charge money, man. You should charge me like money to learn this. And he, no, man, it's good, it's cool, and so to me, like, then I started to build a friendship with Gutenberg outside of the mats, and that's how I got to meet Max and Wallace and Hiago and Mauricio and eventually Julio and all the GF team guys that
They're the guys that were there.
and it really like for the first
After. We come after.
yeah
We come
Oh, you
after.
came after. But all the guys I
from the
met.
beginning,
Yeah,
just like Gutenberg.
But the guys from the
that-
house and stuff.
Yeah, but we're not there yet. They start we
Afterwards.
yeah. And so and every time Guto brought a guy, I like, yeah, man, bring him to
Bring them
Pittsburgh.
here,
Like
yeah.
I had Mauricio Oliveira, my houseman. I think he spoke
Mauricio.
like 4 words of English. I could like barely find him when I had
like
to pick him up.
hungry, sleepy.
Dude, yeah, food, this, and he'd just play on his phone, and I like, man, you good? Yeah, I'm good, man. I play on my phone, and then I like, but Guto said like, man, this kid's like the truth.
Yeah.
And so every
You
time
told me about him too.
Oh,
I
man.
didn't know him.
he's good,
Or-
and such a nice kid too. Man.
He
Like,
don't explode yet.
Yeah.
If he keep on that pace like to jiu-jitsu, he'll be eventually. a
He
world
needs
champ.
just like one good day, I think.
Yeah.
He just needs one
He
day.
beat
Everything
Mika
like,
Galvão too.
He beat Mika.
Dude, I-
BJJ
Yeah.
batch.
Yeah. And I think he's the same as Guto, where it's just like, bro, Guto's gonna have one perfect day and everyone's fucked. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care.
It's time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then he's gonna have the one perfect day. He's gonna figure out how to have 2
And like
perfect
last
days,
word is like
3
right there.
perfect days. Yeah,
Hey,
he's so close, man.
It was against who?
Vitor Hugo.
Vitor Hugo.
Yeah,
He was winning.
he went like on
He was
the
winning.
into to
was
the end,
winning.
man.
Yeah, he just got
I
frustrated.
I
in one
thought
position.
I thought he was like
Yeah.
done. It's his.
Yeah, I thought
It was his pretty far ahead, right?
yeah
6 points or
6
something.
point, man. 6
yeah,
point.
just
That's
the,
crazy.
The half guard position, but yeah, but to me, man, it's like
But you know,
man, one perfect day,
hey,
man. It's
fight
one-
That,
with
yeah.
Vitor Hugo is hard, man.
Yeah.
That guy is big, strong, technical.
yeah.
I fought with him a couple times, like man.
I remember Guto told me like, bro, I
It's
just
hard.
thought like the guy's never gonna let go of my foot, man. It's
Man.
not gonna happen.
When
But
this motherfucker got on top of me, man, he looked like I don't know,
like a bulldozer, man.
like a blanket,
Yeah.
but like with like a 300 pounds on top.
Yeah, yeah.
Try moving like what the fuck, man.
So after meeting all those guys, Dante and Gutenberg and I and Mike, the other black belt of my school, were kind of sitting around at Worlds when we were still brown belts, and Guto was like, man, like I know you love Abe and this, but I think you should be GF team because it's just like a more direct line to the knowledge. You know what I mean? And I talked with Abraham, we talked to everyone, he agreed. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this is the right move for
Mutual,
everyone.
mutual.
Oh yeah, like me and Abraham are still very, very like that's my boy. You know.
He's here last year, yeah. You bring him here last year.
I haven't brought him for a while since before COVID. He didn't come. But he's always welcome. You know what I mean? Like, but GF team was the first time I ever felt like, bro, I'm part of this. You know what I mean? I'm not just like I'm not just paying the affiliation fees. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to just, yeah, man, okay, I pay the money and put the patch. Like, no, I want to be part. You know what I mean? I want to help. I want to bring the guys in, and GF team like made me feel that way. You know, like, okay, man, you're with us now. Like, man, cool. And it's been only good sense, you know, only positive sense.
That's cool, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome to hear, you know, especially because I'm Jeff team.
And they know in Brazil you support it because we tell them like you're in the when like the Jeff team like stuff start happening, all the products you're the first one. Like, man, I'm in.
Yeah, and I
like, man, I was like, hey, man,
that's the way.
Jake is there.
Yeah, and I think it's easy though. It's honestly easy. But I'm always been a guy like, man, I put my money where my mouth is. I put my time. If I say I'm this, that means something. You know what I mean? Is like I'm gonna put the patch on, and that to me means something. Yeah. Like you now represent everybody. It doesn't mean you have to have beautiful jiu-jitsu, but you have to treat people how Julio would treat them. You know what I mean? And how Julio treated me every time is like.
And Julio's
so
a different
much
guy,
respect,
no man.
Oh yeah.
Just like he be on a place.
The presence.
His presence it change everything.
It changes
the
everything.
Energy, everything.
It's dope.
It's like what the fuck these older men do?
Yeah, it's so dope though because you look at. I mean, that's what I mean. You look at a guy like that and you're like, man, what's the trick? What's the secret? Like, how you still love this so much?
Yeah,
you know, like
into today.
Yeah, and he came to my school, did a seminar, and promote me to my first degree, and
nice.
Like, dude, every student there was like
in shock.
Yeah, and like he showed the same things that Gutenberg showed before, but with the vibe, you know, like and I just like
with that knowledge, you're right, that sharp knowledge,
and it's just, and I think that not only does and I might, you know, I don't know him that well, but from my experiences, like he doesn't only have a knowledge in jiu-jitsu, he has like a knowledge of people.
And life.
He a
people guy. I say that all the time.
He can like look at you and
I tell Max like he's for my, I don't know him that close, but I see him as like a big daddy for the, you know,
for everyone.
Like, he's like a father for like the.
I think so too, and I think that he's a guy who's very smart, like very very smart in the way that what he does, you know, and
he's really smart on that connection with people.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He know what you need.
Yep.
Most of the time.
That's how I feel. Like he can just look at you.
Feel you. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, to me, like I said, man, I know whose team I'm on. I know, like, if Gutenberg called me, this is the way. I'm like, all right, man, cool, because he doesn't push the wrong way. He's not doing for him. That's how I feel about Julio too. Like, when Julio came to my school, we didn't even talk about money, man. It wasn't like a.
You don't care.
No.
Yeah.
He don't care. Definitely, he don't care.
And that's what I mean. And like, I'm gonna pay you good because that's who I am.
Yeah.
There's like a mutual respect. Like we don't even need to talk. He knew like, okay, and we.
But he sometimes too much. I get mad sometimes. I try explaining. He like sometimes, hey man, do you have like a brand? It's a business. You gotta take care a little bit more about this. And like, nah.
Yeah. But I think
like somebody take care about this. These people don't care.
Right.
That's your shit. You look.
Right.
You need to care. Then I mean.
Right.
It's like let me help you figure out this. You know, like or found the right person. Maybe I'm not the right person, but I try like I don't know. Here in USA, we see a lot of different things. So we see for different perspectives, especially in business now. And I try. Tell him, like, open his eyes, and he just like, nah, that's fine.
I mean, it's
working for
it's working.
And there's something about
and
that.
Jeff just won. I just saw
Brazilian national
the kids, man. The kids are coming. Like that's the future, right? They look back like, man, that's
the
cool
future's
to see.
coming. You know, and
the biggest like overall champion, right, in Brazil now.
Yeah,
I think that's actually one of the things that makes GF team valuable. Is you know it's not a business, almost like. Like sometimes with Gracie Baja, you know, like, man, they have beautiful jiu-jitsu. Like I love the team, but you know it's a business. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what people talk about. Like, I pay my this, and I have to wear this gi, and I have to do this. And I think that's part of what makes GF team so cool sometimes is like, bro, it's really a team.
Yeah.
It's really a team, you know. And like,
Sometimes when I feel the school should support more, you know what I mean?
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't like
but they're missing out. That's been my whole thing.
we help you on the Brave USA storage, you know what I mean?
GF Team
on
store.
GF Team store.
Yeah.
With Brave, that's like combined tanks. For real, we just put the work there. I don't make any money on
Right.
this, you know what I mean?
Right.
But like, I feel that's the right way. Jeff Team needs to have
It
like
needs
something
this. Yes.
to people wear around
And they
around
want
the
it.
hill, you know what I
Presents,
mean?
to have presents
And
when
they
you
want
go
it.
out.
And this is what I mean.
Most,
Like,
a lot of students wanna,
They
but
want it.
most of the professors don't support. That's
Yeah.
one thing. Like, make me like,
yeah, makes
what
it
the fuck,
hard.
guys? That's like
But you
your
have
student
to.
wanna wear some
want
like
to,
from
yeah.
GFT, like legitimate. Because it should be legitimate. You know what I mean? You don't wanna
No,
like
it needs
just
to
let
be
out the
support, like-
starters.
And it's good for the team. No, and the
From
team
by
should all
yourself,
look the
Because
same.
that comes back to like all the royalties come back to the school, so
Right.
the GF team, so GF team can help those kids to
Right.
become champions. You
Yeah.
know, like
And
we
it's-
had a meeting with.
It helps you. I mean, that's the thing is at the end of the day, like
It's a cycle.
a
It
cycle.
comes back.
me bringing GF team guys to my school for seminars has only helped my school. You know what I mean? Like it helps them, it helps my school, it helps my students. Having the geese helps me, helps the school. You know what I mean? So
Helps GF team to
yeah.
get that back to.
You know, okay, Julio don't want to put this like a uniform. I agree, that's fine, awesome. But like,
But if
we
you-
should have a storage.
Yes.
And people
that once,
that want
have it.
can have it.
Yeah.
You know.
I tell you what,
which is
man,
already possible.
We
Because
gotta-
GF Team Jiu-Jitsu store, it's live. It's
Yeah.
GFTeamJiujitsuStore.com. People
Yep.
can go buy and buy official GF Team products. And
Yeah.
sometimes what is happening, right? We talk. People are using the brand without the licensing,
right.
right? Like, man, I
Without
use it.
the license.
I started selling True Believer stuff without.
And
right? Yeah,
With
right.
you tell them that's okay, or paying your royalties
Right.
for that.
And
Something
That's
like
the
that,
right
you know?
way to do
It's
it.
the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the right, and that's what I mean is
You use your image without telling
Exactly.
you or
exactly. Yeah, but they're taking from your hard work. I mean, that's the thing is a lot of guys build the brand. I mean, that's what I always think is, man, why am I GF team? Well, because the jiu-jitsu. So like we need to bring the GF team guys
Yeah.
all the time, you know, and we need to support with the hats and the
I don't have any
Shirts,
shirt from GFT on my school. I just showed up my school 4 months, man. Most of my students white belt. They start asking already.
yep.
Hey, professor, where I can buy GFT shirts
Yep.
or whatever, like because they want to be part of
It's
this.
cool. I mean, it's also one of the
I'm like,
things,
don't worry,
bro.
I will
like-
get you guys the
Yeah.
right way to get.
But it
that.
is one of those. I mean,
Yeah.
like I remember, like as soon as I talked with Gutenberg, like, oh man, we're GF team. I like, bro, can you know I can get one of them hats?
hats?
He's like, yeah, Vitor has some. I'm like, bro, let me buy
Give
all of
it
them. Sticker
patches
ball,
and stuff
yeah,
like that.
Yeah, so yeah, but that stuff's. I mean, to me, being GF team is just it's like the closest to the truth, you know.
No, that's
I love it.
I like that, and I like the way you build up your students. You know, like man, I see them around. They really like feel like, man, we belong to this. Like we're fighting together.
Yeah.
You know, when they go out, when they come to tournaments,
It's
like
true.
everybody's like, man, we're here. We're
Yeah,
gonna get this.
I think that a lot of the reason is like, when I started the school as a brown belt, man, people were not happy. You know what I mean? A lot of people in the area,
Like around-
yeah, like who's
I
this?
started school like
who's
I'm a
this
brown belt
kid, man?
too,
You know,
in
and
Brazil.
and I'm kind of the kid who like if you don't like me, I like. Okay, yeah,
Like,
like,
yeah,
I'm
like
the
it is.
guy, yeah, like I'm that guy, I'm that guy. So
That might be happening to us too, right?
yeah, you know,
When you start PBJJF, people are like,
Yeah,
man,
people-
criticizing.
Yeah, but
It's
it's
like,
so-
man, do what we're doing.
and this is what I always think.
Put
man,
the work
like,
we put.
if you were a pirate, you know, back in the day in a boat, driving around, whatever, you're not worried about what the other boats are doing. You focus on you.
That's right.
And that's how I think is like, man, I'm focused on me. And what I'm going to show you is if you're with me, we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun and we're going to be tough.
Yeah, I will deliver you a right
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, a truth jiu-jitsu.
That's
a
it.
truth, yeah,
And it's
lifestyle.
even this, like at the tournaments, bro. When we go to the tournaments, like, dude, you're not allowed to sit on the side and play on your phone. No, man. One guy's fighting from the school.
Go there.
Boom, the whole thing.
I
and-
see
and
that.
we're
I
gonna-
see that.
and it helps the guys win, and then all of a sudden they like, man, this is way more fun. Instead of tournament being like I mean, you saw the PBJJF, but like if we have 40 students competing, we also have like 40 students just there to support.
I tell
Yeah.
them about that for my students all the time. If you don't compete, man, go there just to support.
Yeah, and let's
go there
have
to
fun.
coach,
And
like,
make it
bring
fun.
your water, do a massage on
Yeah.
your friend, the arm, whatever.
Yeah,
Be
and
there
cheer,
to support.
and cheer.
Yeah.
And I really think, man, cheer with respect. You know what I mean? I don't think you should be disrespectful. You know what I mean? But I think it's okay to be happy when you win.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we're there for. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Hey.
Yeah, like we're always doing that. Like I want to hit the, you know, and like, but that's fun to me. Like that's the real experience.
Excitement.
You know,
yeah.
like
Without disrespect, of
yeah,
course.
no, and
yeah.
you should not disrespect
Yeah.
anyone. But at the same time, man, it's
fun.
It's fun.
and
It's
it's
fun.
fighting and man, if the guy wants to get mad, let him get mad. That's
Yeah.
gonna ruin his day. That's how I always thought about it. Was me and my team's coming to the tournament. We're gonna have the most fun, whether we win or whether we lose. And if you're mad about it, bro, that's beautiful. Like I love it when people. I know that sometimes they go home after the tournaments like, man, I wish that Jake guy would shut up. Because I'm at the thing. You guys know I'm there screaming my head off loud as hell the whole time. But like, man, I hope you go home and think that. Like, damn, I wish that J kid would shut up. Because there's another guy sitting there being like, damn, I want to be on that. I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
You know, I want to go to the place where my coach flip out.
Care about
You know what I
me.
mean? Yeah, like scream his head off or you know what I mean? Like we were talking about cheese bread when he did the last tournament. Like,
That's right.
man, that was like he had some matches like could have been the world's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the matches were close. He won by 2 points, and then the whole team like
Everybody like brought him up.
Yeah.
He was losing. Everybody go,
Yeah.
go.
Let's go.
Kinda
Let's
give
he
it that
won the one
energy.
in the last second. And it's like, yeah, and to me, it's like that's an easy thing to do. It's just like get with your boys and say like, let's make it fun. Let's get rowdy, like with respect. You know what I mean? Like I think it's very important. Like, you know, you don't get in the guy's face that you beat, but it's okay to look at your friends and
Yeah, of course.
cheer
Celebrate,
and,
man.
Yeah, celebrate
Should put
it.
these
part
out,
of your,
that's
You know,
important.
and,
yeah.
and to me, it's like it just makes it so much fun. But I think that energy just like it carries over. Like if you see a guy at the gym, maybe he's not your friend, but then you see he's cheering for you, you're like, oh shit, man.
He your friend right now.
Like, yeah, this guy's with me, man. Like if we go to war, like
Yeah.
We're together.
you know, and
Hey, but that's like the jiu-jitsu. Something like you change a lot of energy. I feel
Yeah.
that I mean, it's a sport you change a lot of energy.
yeah,
It's hard. Like maybe you're not gonna be like close friend, but you always has connections.
Yeah.
If you train in the same room, man, you guys there together every day, man.
yeah.
Like
It forces empathy. It makes you understand the other guy maybe has bad days too. Like, cause we get so caught up in our own
Mind.
life. You know what I mean? You only think like I have to do this, and my boss is doing this and this, and then you talk with one guy like we had a guy come in the class last night. He hasn't been there for a little bit. Hey man, where you at? Hey, my wife had a baby. Boom, 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 and it's
Everybody
like
happy,
yeah, then the
everybody's
whole place
like,
pops, and
"Congrats."
it's like oh man, that's so cool.
Bring
like,
something him. Like the next day, they bring something for
Yes,
him.
that's what I mean. It's
For his
like
kid.
you start building like this intentional community where it's like, man, we're gonna look out for each other. Like, we don't have to be best friends, bro. I'm not gonna give you $1,000, but if you need me to coach you at the tournament, man, I'm gonna coach you at the
hey,
tournament.
we give you way more than $1,000.
yeah, way more. But people don't
We
understand
give your
until it's
yeah,
until it's there.
time.
give
is
your
valuable.
time, your life, your energy. You know what I mean?
And then they have to understand, like, bro, it's your responsibility to give back, and that doesn't mean like not everyone's gonna be a teacher. Some people don't even like it. You know what I mean? But maybe it's just go cheer. Like if you're a white belt at your school, and you don't know how to give back to the competitors, like man, I wanna just go cheer for them, man. Yeah, just go cheer for them. Like it's gonna only help. You know, it's
Yeah.
gonna only help, and it's fun when you go and you start cheer every time someone on your team scores a point, dude. You start being the team that's having the most fun at the tournament, and then when you're having the most fun, you win. You know, like most of the time,
Yeah.
the team that's having the most fun wins, and like even with the kids, like that's the whole thing. Like, man, I tell my kids in the kids program, like it's okay if you lose. You should want to win. We're here to win, but it's okay if you lose, man. But let's have fun. Like, and the kid, man, even my kids, you should see, they cheer for each other.
The little kids.
Let's go, yeah, man. That's my boy. Let's go, let's go. So like,
cool.
it's cool, man. It's a culture that like, it's funny because this part of this thing to me is what makes it Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
The energy, you know.
Yeah, like like, you know, some guys say American jiu-jitsu or whatever, but to me is the Brazilian part is the friendliness. When you come into the gym, like my gym is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym. I'm not Brazilian, but the vibe.
You have that.
My jiu-jitsu is Brazilian.
And even the Brazilian guys that train there feel it, right?
That's why we have the most Brazilian guys in Pittsburgh, because, dude, I'm not an American jiu-jitsu guy. I don't teach wrestling. I teach jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? My jiu-jitsu is Brazilian from my first coach. He was a Brazilian guy. I've been to Brazil. I went to Brazil 2010, and all the guys I like are Brazilian, and it's the in-between. You know, it's not the training, it's like after the training.
Yeah.
You know?
They hang out, man.
That's it. You know, like, and to me, that's the thing that makes
The
it Brazilian.
açaí.
And the cheering and it's not like really American to like, hey, wow, but
That's true.
But like, we need to take that.
And they love, right? Like, they
Brazilians
hug,
are
right?
right.
Brazil, like, man, like,
So that's the 100%.
I feel
And
like everything's on the energy.
it's,
Like, bro,
it's so
like too much
very-
yeah. It's just a way culturally different. I mean, I felt that when I went in 2010, just the difference of like every person I met hugged me. In America, bro, you're not really hug every guy. You're gonna like shake hand at first because like we keep a distance, like because you also think like maybe he has a gun and like maybe he's mad about this or whatever. But I think Brazilian way is the right way with this kind of thing. You know, not about everything, but like with this kind of the way you treat people, the way you before the training is relaxed at my school. After the training is relaxed at my school. The training is not relaxed. The training is hard. You know what I mean? We train hard. Like we don't rest more than 30 seconds between the rounds of my school. But after, bro.
Relaxing.
Yeah, everyone's joking, playing around.
The best part,
it's the best, man.
It's the hangout.
That's the part that's the most addicting. You know, because
that's where you build the friendship for life.
Yeah, and lifelong friendships, man. And the other thing to think about is like, I'm 38, right? So a lot of people in jiu-jitsu are younger than me, but I remember being 20 and thinking like, when 38-year-olds would tell you something like, oh, maybe I should listen. And one of the things is like, I know a lot of 38-year-olds who don't have any friends, bro. They just go to work, like they fuck with some guys at their work. They like, get some beers or whatever. Maybe they don't even like their wife that much. You know what I mean? Like, and then you go to jiu-jitsu and like, bro,
it changes.
I have friends in every state of the United States. I have friends in multiple different countries. Like, dude,
real friends.
Through
Real
jiu-jitsu.
100% real friends, like lifetime. Like, even if you have 3 lifetime friends, that's more than most people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And jiu-jitsu gives you like 10,
Thousands.
12, 20, as many as you have the energy to take. That's what I think. Like, as many as you can be friends with, you're going to find friends like that. And you're going to find people who into this, people into that. And then you're going to share jiu-jitsu. And like,
That's true.
man, I have friends that if you would have known both of us, like this guy in high school, Jake in high school, no way we would be friends, bro. Probably enemies. And then you do jiu-jitsu with the guy,
And you guys friends.
and you're like, "Fuck, man, I love this guy. Man.
I
He's like
see
my
that.
best friend, bro." Like,
I see a lot of how social media is messing like friendships from like political here, because like now you're seeing like, and I see how jiu-jitsu can change that, because now when you get to know the person, you be, man, you're so cool.
Yeah.
And
And
you
it's-
just think different than me.
and it's
But
real
you're
life.
such a cool guy, you know,
And
like
it's
a good person.
the thing I like about jiu-jitsu too, man, is, dude, social media is anyone can say anything they want at any
That's
time
right.
with no consequence.
And sometimes without to post your face, that.
Oh, that's what I
the
mean. Yeah,
big problem.
without your face. But this has been a problem since the internet started. I mean, bro, I've been mad at kids talking shit on the internet my whole life. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't really remember that much back in.
so I grew up.
I grew up with the MS.
MSN.
Do you remember MSN?
Yeah, we had
we like
instant messenger.
Behind on
Yeah,
technology.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, there's always been people who want to share their opinion on the internet. And then when you just realize, like, man, that's a whole different world, like a whole different place
Yeah.
that I just don't even take part. Like, bro, I just don't even take part. Like, I don't have a personal social media thing because it's not real to me. Like, and that's why I think, like, if you go to a real jiu-jitsu gym, it forces you, like, bro, there's no phones right now, man.
Yeah.
We're training now.
Come and
And
You
then-
should socialize, no.
and
You
the thing
should
is too, though,
socialize.
like, bro, sometimes people have opinions that they should keep to themselves because they can't stand behind it. You can have a crazy opinion. You could say something crazy, but I'm gonna check your chest on it. You know what I mean? If you say something crazy around me, I'm like, what do you mean by that, bro? And then if you say something crazier, we're gonna get crazier. You know, like, and that just doesn't exist in jiu-jitsu because you already know who can beat you up in the room. You know what I mean? It's like, man, all these guys can beat me up, and usually they're the nicest.
But even when you like don't connect with the thoughts, right? Like you respect differently, man. You get to like you're more open to listening, right? Because man, we're working so hard, man. You're such a nice guy. I like this. I like
and then you start to realize like,
and then you understand why the person likes that. It's like that might make sense
it might
for
make
you,
sense,
right? Because the way you grew up, like.
So I think that's the thing is like if people spend more time actually just being like, bro, what do we agree about?
Yeah.
You know, instead of like, what do we disagree about? Man, we can disagree all day, but like, what do we agree about?
No, the conversation on a bar and on a mat will be completely different.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like,
That's what I mean.
Don't care much about what you don't like.
Right.
That's where you just mean. Let's. On a bar, sometimes you just go. Just political, like religion, or whatever. What do you think about this? Or like on a mat, you gotta talk about life, good day.
And how's your day?
Man. You know.
But that's real things. That's what I mean. This is like real, like, bro. What's really gonna affect your day is how's your wife doing? How's your job doing? How's your kids?
You
doing?
happy,
Not
man?
like, bro, how's your stocks doing? Or Joe Biden's doing this or Donald Trump doing this.
And on the mat, you don't
Nobody
even care.
That's what I mean, man. It's like, bro, as long as you're nice with everyone else, like, it's funny, man, because that's what we always say. Like, you know, the people say things on the internet, especially when you're doing good. They like to say more, you know, and people will say sometimes true believer because we're so together that we're a cult. Hey, man, it's like a cult. Huh? Okay,
yeah. I like that.
No, we are a cult of being nice to each other and working super hard. That's it. If you want to be in my gang, if you want to be on my cult, doors is open. You just have to be nice to the other people who's here. You don't have to be best friends. You have to be nice, and you have to train hard. And if you can do that, yeah, man,
You're
you
more than
in.
welcome.
You in. Yeah, that's it.
I think jiu-jitsu is kind of cold, like in a positive way, of course, right? But because I talk about jiu-jitsu.
Me too.
I'm almost like I feel like there's some religions that they go out and knock people's doors, right? I'm kind of that
JP
guy
definitely
now.
is this guy.
I was like, man, I think I'm.
Wait,
I'm like, I talk
he
about, man, you
about
should try
jiu-jitsu, bro,
jiu-jitsu.
everywhere.
Yeah.
You should try jiu-jitsu. Why not?
Yeah. The worst thing is gonna happen. You don't like it.
I see women's like, hey,
It's the worst.
Someone throw you on the ground, try to hurt you. What will you do? I punch him. I kick him. Like, not gonna work.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
No, it's not gonna work. What do? You gotta learn something effective.
Yeah. And
Like,
and even if that never comes into your life,
if it never comes,
like you're like, hey, man, no one's gonna throw me down. Like, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, but then you're just gonna do this really fun sport, bro. You're just gonna have mad fun, like.
Yeah. But
You're gonna
like,
meet the good people.
definitely will be ready. If
Oh, you're
need
gonna
to,
be
you
ready.
know what I mean? Yeah.
100%.
but I tell everybody, man, it's better. Like health insurance. Do you want to go to the hospital?
Right.
No.
But you want to have
we
health
hope-
insurance.
Yeah, but you
do you
don't
want
need
to fight
don't wanna
people?
lose.
No, but you want to know how to fight if you need.
Yeah, it's better to prevent.
You know
how to use a fire extinguisher, right? Instead of just call the fire department.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, I agree.
It's like health insurance. It's just like
It's a
health
good
insurance.
Yeah.
You want to have it, but you don't want to
wanna
use it.
use. I agree.
And man, it's gonna force you outside of your comfort zone. Like even now, 15 years of jiu-jitsu, I can still find ways to push me out of my comfort zone. You know, like
Every night, every day.
every day, man.
Yeah.
And that thing is fun too because then you start to realize like, oh man, I can do it. Like most people will figure out you're actually tougher than you think you are. You're actually stronger than you think you are. You can do more than they're telling you can do. You know, and then when you get in the right room, that's what I mean. I know not every guy in my room is going to be a jiu-jitsu teacher or a jiu-jitsu competitor, but if doing jiu-jitsu, then all of a sudden I can help you be the best lawyer or dad or whatever. Now you have this room that you can go, all this. It really only forces you to like focus, you know, teaches you how to put your hard work. Or if anything like this, like if you're just a blue belt, like, man, jiu-jitsu taught me sometimes like things take 10 years. That's cool. Like if I think about the next thing that I want to learn, you know, I'm learning the business. You know, I'm starting to be like a white belt of business and blue belt of business. And then I think like, okay, man, cool. Think about how good I'm going to be in 10 years because I know I can do 10 years of something.
Exactly.
I know I have it in me to, okay, man, cool. I'm going to show up every day, every training, whether I'm hurt, tired, sick. I'm showing up. You know, like I was always that guy. Like I'm going to sit there. If I'm sick, I sit on the mat. Like sick. Like, oh, I'm sick, bro. I'm not training, but I have to be here today. No, because you're going to get better. I need to be here. And then now I'm the same way in my business, you know, and I understand though that like, man, I don't need all the answers.
No.
Today I just need to be a blue belt. And I just need to be a blue belt. The best blue belt I can be in business, and then I'm going to ask the guy.
True.
How I get my purple belt in business.
Find the mentors, right? In different...
and then you see like, man, but 10 years is nothing.
Yeah.
It's
but I think that's
so
such a
fast.
good thing for the kids. Because now is everything like...
oh yeah.
I don't like it. Move on. Next thing.
next
When you
screen,
keep,
next
and then
screen.
you can never get good at something. You know, like it's.
And the problem for the kids now, they don't want to try if they're not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that
That's
too.
hard.
Being bad at something is like hurts. It's hard. You know, like we forget like.
But like the parents like
How hard
help
the hip
on that
escape.
too, man. Like I'm not good on these. I don't wanna. It's like, but
You gotta.
you gotta push to try a little bit.
Right.
Like hey,
And jiu-jitsu
son,
teaches that.
You gotta come back at that tomorrow and try again.
Yeah.
It's like no, I don't. I'm not good. Okay,
Yeah,
we go get better. You
Man,
go
I always
improve.
think like, bro, I know because I talk with him. Rodolfo, it was bad his first day. Like if you're like, hey man, how was your first day? He's like, man, fuck, I got beat up. I didn't know if I was gonna come. Everyone, Bushesha. You know, it's like any guy you ask is like, bro, it was tough. Maybe Gutenberg had a good first day. I don't know, but like, you know what I mean? It's like, and so that shows you like, man, jiu-jitsu is actually more failing than it's. You lose more than you win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you really put yourself in the situation, you're gonna lose more than you win. And then it teaches you about like, okay, I can deal with a lot more. I can that's it, resilience. Like I can deal with a lot. You know, like.
That's a teach you life skills a lot.
And
all
I
the time.
felt that like even when COVID happened and I had just moved my gym, we just moved to a brand new thing. We were open like
the
1
new
year.
spot is beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, we're still with Ryan Selly. We still have like the same. We both grew and moved to a new spot. And but I think that when COVID happened and we had to shut everything down, like I didn't get scared. I like, man, we got this. Like we can
Long-term
do this, man.
vision.
Jiu-jitsu, yeah, and like, but I think if you didn't, jiu-jitsu teaches you how to have that long-term vision because man, most people aren't good at this unless even the best takes 6 years to be super good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 6 years at your job, 6 years in college. You go to college for 6 years, you're a doctor.
No.
You know, so I think that.
Okay, that's me. We are a doctor too.
Yeah, man. Yo, you are a
PhD.
Yeah, PhD in jiu-jitsu, bro. Like that's
True, man. Like
that's
it's
what I mean, man. Like, man, I
a
didn't.
lot of time invested.
I didn't go to college, but I put way more time into my black belt than a lot of people who put into their degrees.
True.
And it gives me a lot, equally as much back as they have in their degrees. You know, so.
It's an interesting thinking like that. We talk about that. Sometimes we start at 8, like yesterday. We start at 8, we finished at 2 a.m.
Yeah, yeah,
Crazy.
Or day job.
yeah. But it's gonna
Like,
pay off.
okay, we split on PBJJF and
Of
school
course.
and teaching
Back
back and forth. But that, man, it's too much time, man.
It's a lot.
And like, but we
But it's-
happy and we live here happy.
And then you're gonna think like,
And
and,
then- no,
where's it gonna be in 5
Yeah.
years, 10 years,
Exactly.
in 15 years? I don't have to rush. I don't have to. I just
You gotta be
set my base
consistent.
up. Yes,
Consistent.
do my fundamentals. You know what I mean? Do my fundamentals the right way. No
And the
crazy shit.
funny part is we finish the podcast and we hang out for another hour
Yeah,
afterwards.
Yeah,
talking.
after the podcast.
He's
Just still
talking.
talking and yeah, because man, that's the Brazilian part, man. That's what I mean. That's the thing that like
we hang out, they hang out.
yeah.
After the
And
hangout.
that's, I mean, what is the say? I mean, like, it's funny because we just had Wallace at the school like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And
Wallace a fun guy, no, man.
he's fun but he's a younger guy, man. So
Yeah.
I called the young boys like, man, you got to take him out, man. He came back like, man, we had so much fun. We did the party after the party, and party after the party, and wake up and party the next morning. And like, man, it's cool. Jiu-jitsu gives you this life where I get to be an adult. I pay my bills. I do this, but at the end of the day, man, like my job today was wake up, drive my car, listen to my favorite music, you know what I mean? Hang out,
to
have
the
a little
jiu-jitsu
coffee,
school.
and then go hang out and talk about jiu-jitsu. And like,
Yeah.
man, what a blessing. You know what I mean? Like I get to be like Peter Pan. I get to be a kid every day. Like, of course I have to do my adult things, but like at the end of the day, I get to go to a room full of mats and do some somersaults and, you know, do
Living the
whatever I
dream,
want.
living
Yeah,
the
it is the dream.
I tell all
man.
the
It's-
time, I live in the dream.
It is. And
Jiu-jitsu is like changed my life, and it, thanks God all the time. Thanks my parents to
Yeah.
introduce me on that.
this is
You know what I
great,
mean?
man. And I also think like I like working too, though. You know, like part of my dream is I don't want to like sit around. You know what I mean? Like maybe later we can do some sitting around, but I think even then I'm gonna be like whatever, you know, like traveling or doing something. So
I see myself on the gear, man. I'm like super old.
oh, me too. I think I'm
Hold
gonna
on,
get
so-
buried in it. I hope I die on the mat, bro. To be honest,
like,
man.
like I don't train or whatever. I'll put
Oh,
my
yeah.
gear. I'll be there,
Me
sit
too.
around, talk shit about.
Yeah.
I beat
I
you
used to
up.
do
like, I
this.
still do this. Blah blah blah. You know.
This new generation, beating ball.
These
Where's the new
techniques
thing?
don't work.
Foot lock,
man.
foot lock.
Yeah, this,
Foot lock. You know who's like this? Abraham Marte's teacher in Dominican Republic is a guy named Abraham Tabar. Bro, he just chilling. Has like he shows up late to the training with his gi, just chilling. But then if you ask him a question about jiu-jitsu, it's like deep knowledge, man. It's super cool, super
Nice.
cool. And like I look at guys like that. I look at guys
wanna
like
be like
Julio. Man, that's how I want to be, man.
Man,
I want to be that.
Julio train, and he like, maybe I'll compete this year again.
Man, sick. Man, so dope. So
And
dope.
that's awesome. That,
Yeah.
And this bring inspiration to us, man.
Of course.
When he told me that, I'm like, man, what I'm doing? I'm 30 years old, and like
I'm
more
young
focus
still.
on just to work. Man, I should fight too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
You got
That's
the
what
time.
bringing me here.
Yeah.
The competition part was bringing me here. Was putting me here.
Right.
On that spot. You know what I mean? I should make it happen. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter if one time a year. But I should make it happen.
Yeah.
One time a year, I should put my gear, show by example my
And
students.
that's
you know
it, man. And at the end of the day, it's only gonna be good. You know what I mean? Like, so I
Win
I
or
mean,
lost,
like,
it doesn't matter. Your
Yeah.
students would love to see
yeah.
you watch.
And I
you know,
just, I mean, like I said, like I hope I'm old. You know, I hope I'm super old. But like that last day, I hope they just put him in his gi, drag him to the mat, and boom, and let him die.
Yeah,
you know what I
the
mean?
gi
Like,
in the
man,
mat.
why not? You know, like
That's
would be great. You know, would be
lifestyle.
beautiful.
Helio, Grandmaster Helio Grace, right? He
Yeah, man. That.
was on the mat until like
Yeah, I mean,
Hobson Grace,
dude,
just
so,
awesome,
yeah.
and
Grace
he's still,
just
like,
passed.
yeah, he like 80, 85.
and that's it,
86.
man. Even if it's
But
just
he's
to
still like it,
to
man.
smell the room, to
For the
you know what I
gi,
mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. Like home is home is everywhere.
Yeah.
When you have a gi, you know you're gonna walk into a place and like, man, I don't speak the language. I don't this, but the smell's the same. The
Yeah.
sound's the same. The noise of the mat. You know what I mean? The feel of the mat is like, yeah, it's just beautiful. It's like comforting. You know, but you know, and you hope people like would bring that into their life, and if you do jiu-jitsu, you're trying to share with other people, and
That's
it's
the
funny
way,
because I
that's
don't
the
know many
way.
people who don't feel this way.
Yeah.
You know, there's not many people who like, man, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 10 years, but I'm done. I'm over it. Like, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's, you know,
I tell my students, hey, if you make to the purple, you have to make to the black belt.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah,
invest
you can't
5
stop.
years, at
Yeah.
least 5 years,
it's bad.
and quit.
Yeah, it'd be
Make-
sad.
You gotta mix. And we have a clan. If you move to anywhere, I'm gonna call the black belt in the
Yep.
area. They're gonna pick you up, drag you to the mat, and then you
And make
go
you
and train.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's funny because I have friends, you know, that started at my school once I opened it, but the whole first 6 years I was training, I'm like, man, come here. Like, and so my best friend joined at the school. His name's Jason, and the day I gave him his purple belt, I like, brother, I've known you since you were 15 years old. If you quit jiu-jitsu, I'm gonna fuck you up so bad, bro. Like, I'm like, we're not gonna talk ever again if you
That's
quit
right.
now, you know.
Right.
So and he's still
That's-
there.
Hey, you got
Still
some
training.
questions. Right, check these out, please.
Let's go to here. Wallace came to Pittsburgh. Matt is also joining watching us big
That's what's up.
Yeah. Shout out.
following
shout
us.
out.
Shout out to Matt White. Shout out to Matt. I love the attitude of win or lose, it doesn't matter. I think that's an attitude that really needs to be embraced. Embraced
true.
it.
And I also think is one of those things that you can like live in the world where it's like you can say it doesn't matter, but that you want to win.
Yeah.
Like I'm also someone who's
Nobody
like,
want to
And
lose.
you're trained to win as well.
and I don't think and
But
it's okay to lose, but
Yeah.
only if you learn from it. You know what I mean? It's like it's okay to lose, but not if you're just gonna lose and say, "Oh, it's okay if I lose. I don't give a fuck."
We,
But,
Take
like,
the lesson.
Hey,
Yeah,
nobody
but
leave
like-
your house to a competition room
Right.
and you want to lose.
Right.
They want to win.
And if
they
you can admit
and you
that,
should want to win,
you
then
should.
admit, like you should give your best to
Yeah.
it. But like if you lose, the world's not gonna finish.
gonna end.
Not
Yeah.
gonna end. Not that for you. Don't change.
Right.
You know what I mean? The
And-
world's not change. Everything's around you will be the same.
Right.
Your professor Monday
same.
on the school will be the same with
same.
you.
Yep.
Maybe he little bit mad because you're missing up some technique.
yeah,
but
yeah, right.
he go fix you. He
Yeah,
gonna
he's gonna
help you
help.
to fix it,
Right.
and that's just gonna help you improve.
And it's gonna help you in life too. I mean, it's okay to like put yourself in a situation and feel bad about it. That's like
Yeah.
it's okay, man. Then you're gonna work harder and like it's not always wins. Like that's the thing. When you see people at the top, man, people don't talk about how they lose. Is LeBron James not gonna talk about how all the time he lose. You know what I mean? Steve Jobs doesn't sit there and say, let me tell you about all the companies I mess up. But they all do. You know what I mean? Everybody.
That's the way to improve.
Right. You have to. You have to put yourself in situations to lose. So while I say like it's okay to win or lose, it's like I actually think it's only okay to lose if you take the lesson. You know, in
That
any
makes
sense.
sense.
Good knowledge,
That's
yeah.
true. I have another one here. Arlis. We
Yeah,
came up a nickname for
that's
him
the
too.
one.
You know
Okay,
his
yeah.
nickname?
No, what's his?
Electricista.
Oh, the electrician.
The electrician.
That's a good one, bro.
Like
He's smart, bro.
He came by like, hey, we need a tool. He was like, okay. He went to his car,
Yeah.
brought like a huge box. Like, I got everything guys
Everything.
need.
Yeah.
I was like,
Electricista.
Electricista.
Yeah.
The electrician.
Yeah, and he's smart, man. Super smart guy. Trains all the time. He just finished a programming course. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. I get to know about all these people and all the things that they accomplish, all the hard
That's
work.
awesome.
You know, and he helps me with the kids class. Arlise is great with the kids class. You know, he's a good guy.
Cool, man.
Good. He
That's
said
awesome.
he asked what was your toughest fight? What was the toughest fight that Jake had?
Man, I've had a lot of tough ones. Honestly, that fight with Jeff Mount was a really tough one. There's another kid. He's from like New Jersey. His name's Anton. He's like a SAS guy.
Anton.
Yeah.
Anton.
Yeah, I think
Brave. He's a brave.
yeah. This guy, we fought like 2 or 3 times. I think I won advantage once. He won advantage twice. And then there was a guy from, I think he's a Soul Fighters guy. His name's Leonardo Delgado or something like this. Man, me and this guy fought like 5 times. He beat me by advantage like every time. But I remember every match was like
Like a war.
A war, yeah.
dude.
I
like,
love this match, man.
Yeah, like and back and forth, like you know, like the score like 4-4, 2 advantage to 1 advantage, and
Hey, tap your opponent is magic, is awesome.
Oh.
But like, man, beat somebody by advantage and the match.
yeah. And when you're
Dude,
trying
like-
to like, yeah, go to war. I mean, I have a lot of memorable matches, and I don't think any of them have been easy. You know what I mean? Even the ones you win is not easy. So every match is tough. That's the other thing about jiu-jitsu, man. Like the guys who sign your name, they tough.
They
you
are.
know, you're
They're
gonna
ready.
sign your name and step the
that
line,
You should hang out.
bro. You tough. You know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jake, so I think we're getting towards the end of the episode, right? I think this is the first of many times you're coming.
I hope so.
I hope you liked it.
Oh,
the
I
way
have a
we're
blast,
doing, you
man.
know,
Yeah, this is dope.
checking out
Yeah.
the
Look,
PBJJF
awesome
headquarters.
studio, awesome building.
Thank you.
Guys, don't miss this opportunity. Get out there. You know,
Yeah, we're coming
support
to
these guys.
Pittsburgh, right? So we're coming
on
to,
the 21st.
21st, Pittsburgh.
About,
So
like,
we'll be on a
20%.
Sunday, and man, if you guys are
Yeah, come out. man.
in the Pittsburgh area, you're from anywhere, go and travel to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Really
come
tough
train with us,
competitors.
My
Stop
door's
by,
open to everybody. You know, our door's always open to everybody. I know all the other schools in the area are very similar. You know what I mean? Like if you come to Pittsburgh, you're gonna
Yeah, but
be
go
able
for
to
a trip,
train.
believe.
Yeah, come here. Yeah, of course. I'll tell you all the cool places to go. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna have a good time. But
Always get a good food too.
good
Get there.
food. You know, we're gonna have a good time. Lots of cool people. I'm excited for the tournament. You know, we're gonna show out. We're gonna bring a lot of kids this time.
Guys, 20 days to the
Yeah.
tournament.
20 days. Sign up now,
So,
guys.
yeah,
Put your
don't
name.
wait.
Hey,
Put your name.
early you put your name in there, more people will
You put your
set
name,
that,
people
like,
tend to
And
register.
we always
you
say
know?
like,
Don't
man,
wait
don't
for
be
the
the one
last
to
time.
wait. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't be the one to wait. If you're gonna do it, just
You're gonna
just
have to
put your
find another
name.
division if you
Yeah.
don't put your name. 'cause
Just put your
people
name
might
and
not.
find, you know.
And a lot of women like if women come and compete,
Oh,
come
yeah.
and support. You know, like we want to help women jiu-jitsu grow.
Yeah.
You know, but we need their help to come and like help us. To,
Well, you hear that, girls?
You
We got
know?
women's only class on Wednesday, so
Nice.
they
Perfect.
know.
Like,
They
more
know.
women
I
we
tried to
have.
use that program of like on my school women's programs
Man,
too. Like
I
women's
have been
class.
so lucky with, like, we got a huge group of girls at our school. They are all super tough. And the thing is, like, they start in the women's only program for like 1 month. And then
they
when they
move.
realize, man, no one's gonna do anything weird. No
Yeah.
one's gonna.
It's
everyone's
about
looking
jiu-jitsu.
out. That's it. We're here for the team. We're here to work out. We're here to get better. Honestly, if you don't have girls in your school, you're missing out.
That's
There's a
right.
whole nother
I think
perspective,
so.
a whole different
And
mentality.
that brings the environment, right? Like
Yeah.
it means like that you guys have a good environment here because if your women's are
Feel safe,
Joining.
and,
Safe,
and,
enjoying,
you know,
yeah.
and the other thing is, man, is, bro, I have some girls in my school who are tears. Like, they're so good on the mat. I have this one girl, Allie Panetti. Actually, it's Allie Lewin. She just got married, but she's purple belt, like, savage, like, super tough.
Yeah. She competed some like super fights.
Yeah,
maybe,
she does some
she
super
does, like,
fights. She's done like Atlanta Open, one weight and absolute, and Allie's the girl that, like, she can do whatever she wants. You know, she's like she's good at her job. She's good
I
at
think
this.
I've seen her.
I
Yeah.
see her.
I don't know
She
if
fight,
it's-
she fight a lot on the G15 hash guard. before.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
her. Okay, I've seen
Yeah,
her.
and then we have another girl, Maya, who's a purple belt girl. who's
Maybe
come
Maya
up.
is a beautiful name.
Yeah, Maya.
I got it.
That's a good name. Yeah, and Maya, yeah, you guys have seen Maya. She always wears the
Okay,
GF team rash
maybe
guard
Maya.
too,
That
and,
might be. She's the
her boyfriend is Chris
Chris.
Passerello, the
That's,
black
that's
belt.
why I
Yeah.
think we
Who's at the
We
school.
met her.
he came by to compete as well.
Yeah.
Hope
He
he
compete
hope
here.
he competes at
He will. Yeah, we're gonna show out at Pants. We're gonna bring some
Pans,
hitters.
even Pittsburgh. You know,
Yeah.
there's some
There's some guys,
good guys
yeah,
out
yeah.
there. Well, one more question before we go. I don't know how to say your name. His name, KJELD. Kjo.
Okay, Joe.
Kjo. I know. I know. He trained with Jeff
Mm-hmm.
from Foundation.
Foundation, yeah.
He's also always on the podcast. Shout
Nice,
out.
man. Got a good coach there, man. Jeff's the man. Jeff's the
is
man.
a nice
Awesome
guy,
guy,
tough
man.
guy. So what do you do? What do you do to bounce back after losses? I think right.
Yeah.
Losses.
Man, I think it's like a lot of what we were talking about is like when you also realize, like, man, it's just one match. Like, you know how many matches I have in a day? Like, bro, I probably roll 20 rounds a day. So to lose one to another black belt is who you know what I mean, is like, it's nothing. Like,
Change the mindset.
yeah, and if anything, like, I think one of the things is like, I just think like, okay, next time, like, I want to go again. I want to try again. I want to do next time. And but it also took me a long time. Like, I think when I was a purple belt, man, I would lose and I would like cry. You know what I mean? Like, sit there like, fuck, man, I can't believe I'm losing this. And man, that's a bad feeling at the end of the day. You know what I mean? To be that hard on yourself. So I think I also had to just like, I put competition where it belongs for me. You know what I mean? Like, and it belongs as a place for me to test out my things, to make myself uncomfortable, to meet some cool people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go to a tournament without finding at least one person who has sick jiu-jitsu and go talk to them.
Yeah,
Even local tournament, dude, I'm gonna see a blue belt kid, like, man,
Good
that
work,
shit was
yeah.
dope, dude. Like, you should come check us out. Like, I want to learn this, or I want to see this, or so I think, like, I don't think I ever bounce back from the losses, man. I think I remember them all, and you carry them with you a little bit, but you can't let that like be too much weight. You know, it's like you just wake up the next day and train, like, because, man, I could lose every match forever, but like I said, like, I'm still gonna train. You know, you're not gonna beat me bad enough. I used to say, like, when I was a brown belt, man, I went through a period. I think I lost every match for 2 years, and people would say, like, man, Jake, are you sure you want to keep doing this? And I used to say, like, bro, IBJJF's gonna have to send me a letter It says
Like,
stop.
you can't
like,
fight.
bro, we're tired of watching you lose. Because I'm just gonna keep going, man. I'm just gonna keep signing up, and at the end of the day, like, bro, if I win a world championship, Master 7, because I'm the last guy, I'm Master
That's
7
the
world
way.
champion then,
That's
bro.
right.
Like, that's me. So
You can't stop someone that won't quit.
that's
right?
it, man. So I think, like, and you also just have to understand, like, losing is part of everything, man. Like, there's very few guys. There's only one Buchecha. You know what I mean? Like, there's only one.
And
or
he
two
lost a lot
Yeah, man.
before.
A
Like,
lot,
many
yeah.
times
Yeah.
like I saw his documentary. He's like, almost quit.
Yeah,
Because
and I think everybody deals with that, man. So I think it's to bounce back is like look to your inspiration, man. Like look to the guys who inspire you. Look to that. Look to other things, you know, other realms of the world. Like you're not gonna find someone who becomes what they want without losing. So you gotta lose. I think I always tell my students, like, bro, you're allowed to feel bad for one day. If you want to feel bad about it for one day, cool, man. But after that day, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. Let's talk about how we're going to win the next one, you know? So
That's good.
I think that goes for life too, you know?
That's true.
Like something bad happens in your life, man, you should feel bad how a normal amount. Like, man,
Flip
I'm gonna
the
feel
coin.
bad. Now how do I use this into a positive thing, you know?
Exactly.
So
I like that. And don't forget, if you're in Maryland, you can compete all in the areas. I think Pan Am's the close one we're having in Maryland, June 24th.
Yeah,
Make
that's-
sure you guys sign up.
so close, man.
And
That's
he's
a
a
perfect
purple
camp.
belt. I know him. I know.
Yeah,
I've
let's
seen
go,
him
man.
at the events.
Let's go.
He came stop by at Ogogi.
I think one of the other
Really
things
nice
is
guy.
you have to give yourself room to surprise yourself.
Yeah.
Like you have to, like, bro, you're not gonna win if you don't sign up.
Yeah.
And maybe you're supposed to win. Like,
True.
maybe that day's your day. That's what I always think. Like, man, but what if I don't? Like for me, it was always I wanted to win the New York Open, and then I did at Black Belt, and it was like,
Nice.
man, thank God I came this day.
Yeah.
What if I didn't come? What if I stay home this day? When maybe you just need the first guy who's more nervous than you, and you beat him, and then today's my day.
That was my
Like,
day.
Yeah, you
Then
don't
beat
know,
the
man.
second
Yeah,
guy,
like
then the third, then you
that's
get in the
it.
final and you win.
And that's it. And then once you make to the finals, once you start to, okay, I'm supposed to be in the finals. That's what happened with me. I finally won one match, and then I like, okay, I can do it. Then you win 2 matches and 3, and then I started to
Sometimes you
make the
just need
final.
that click, man.
Make the final,
When
yeah.
you get that click, you start to get
Yeah.
better,
Yeah.
win more
It
matches.
changed the-
That's it. I used to go to the tournaments and think like, okay, man, I'm definitely gonna make it to the final. And like when you think that,
The mindset
a lot of
is
times it helps,
set.
man.
Yeah.
You
True.
get there, so yeah, man. I think it's just at the end of the day, man. It's not really who wins, who loses. It's like who's still around.
Wow,
Awesome.
that's a big truth.
Yeah.
Who's still around?
Yeah.
Keep
Hey, guys,
focus and, like,
Just,
show
you
up.
know, to finalize, make sure you go to pbjjf.smooth.com, check all of our events. Hey, if you're not competing at PBJJF, you're missing out.
You're missing
you know?
out.
You're missing
You're
out
definitely
big
missing out.
time.
And if you haven't
So-
gone to check one out, man, if you're a little nervous to compete, go support your boys competing. man.
That's
go
right.
cheer for your
That's the
friends.
way.
I promise you, look, we're coming to Pans. You guys are gonna think True Believer open a school in DC area. You know what I mean? We're gonna be loud.
I like
you know?
it.
And if you
I
don't
like
like me, cool. Send me some message on Instagram.
And-
How you don't like me? I'll delete it. Don't even look.
And
Bah.
hey, Pan Am's will be historical.
Yeah.
Like whoever wins
Yeah, the
as a
first-
team,
yeah.
and
We're the first one,
will be the first one. You're gonna be in the history of
That's it.
jiu-jitsu because
sure.
think about it. 5 years
That's
from
it.
now, 10 years from now, look how fast
Ah,
we're growing.
That's what I mean. Like
You
that's,
know,
that's why
it's gonna be a
it's important we get those trophies from the Pittsburgh ones. You know what I mean?
hey PBJJF will be the big deal, man.
It
in the
already is,
jiu-jitsu
man. I
world.
think it
You
is.
see
It's making a space like a really
We're
nice
pushing
lane,
hard,
and
man.
that's what I
Yeah.
think, man. Is
and we're trying to do things that other people are not doing. Like, man,
Yeah, you
what can
stream
we
the
do more?
fights,
Streaming podcasts,
Yeah.
like in-person podcasts.
yeah,
we
the
have
in-person
our,
podcast is
you
is the
know,
way to
like
go, man.
Sneed, right? Nobody having
People love
It's
this.
better to watch too,
Hey,
man.
I
It's
like
like
a lot
real-
to doing that shit too.
Me too.
Man, every time I sit here, I learn something new.
Yeah,
That's
true.
crazy.
We're
That's
sharing like
crazy.
knowledge, and
Yeah.
I learn a lot. We love it. We
I love it
doing
too,
this,
man. This is great. So
And one thing. Well, another question. If you could have somebody sitting here and watching yourself a podcast, and who would you?
like, who do I hope is watching?
Who would you like to
Like to
us to
see.
have here?
Man, I mean the list is endless. But for me, you guys gotta have Guto come, man. If you guys don't know about Gutenberg, man, look him up.
Check it
His
out.
story's crazy. the way the kid acts is insane. So to me, that's like, I just think, man, he's bubbling right there. You know, the way people talk about Gordon Ryan, I think like, man, but you don't know. You just wait, man. He just needs his day.
Just wait, yeah.
So I'd like to see that. I'll listen to Julio talk about whatever. You know what I mean? If
Awesome.
Julio wants to talk about how to cook meat, I'm probably gonna listen. You know what I mean?
All
Like,
right, hey,
get these legends on here. You know?
Gutenberg and Professor Julio.
Yeah.
Imagine
We
them
want you
both
here.
together.
That
All
would be the
together.
one, man.
Yeah.
That would be the one.
Maybe a time if they come around or to
Yeah.
your area, maybe we'll bring them
I will
here.
make it
to,
happen.
I will make Julio.
You don't have any connection, right?
No. Barely know the guy.
But Julio definitely come on my 1 year anniversary. On the
Yeah,
school.
perfect.
That's
Yeah.
a
So
plan.
those guys, man. But honestly, I think jiu-jitsu's cool. Everyone got a cool story. You know what I mean? Everyone's
That's
gonna
right.
tell you something like, man, I'm not a world champion
book, right?
competitor.
People
I'm
will
not-
have like
yeah.
their own books,
And you're gonna
right,
find
to
like
share.
your lane. Like you're gonna find someone that is very similar to you. You know, like in jiu-jitsu. So
True.
I think anyone who does it and has done it for a long time is gonna have some real interesting, like, cool things to say.
I like
you know?
it. We got a good host too, right?
Perfect
to have
host, man. Super
ask him,
relaxed.
yeah.
Yeah, super relaxed.
That's how it should be, man.
Max Rogan
Max Rogan.
and Jay Jacob.
Oh, let's go. I like that.
And Matt said here Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan. He wants to see Joe Rogan. We want to.
Yeah, it would be dope, man.
Joe
Yeah.
Rogan. would be
Imagine that
cool.
one day.
Oh, we going there?
definitely-
Hey guys, make sure you go to his
Yeah.
Instagram.
Social media,
Hit him up.
whatever.
Hey man,
Yeah, go on
bring the
PBJJF,
guys JP
yeah,
and
yeah.
Max here. Talk to you. Those guys are doing some crazy stuff
Yeah,
in the
man.
East. Jiu-Jitsu
Let's
the East
go, yeah.
Coast.
Yeah.
You know, support our own.
Or
support
come
our
here,
own.
or come here.
Come
I think
here.
Joe Rogan's our. We'll be there. We'll be there. We'll
He's
talk
the
about it in
drink.
the
He's gonna-
podcast.
he's the drink.
Every
He's the
podcast we
drink,
He's
stay.
the one who started this whole
Yeah.
thing too. You know, what I mean, he really
Man,
changed the
somebody
game,
changed
bro.
the-
Somebody will see it. Somebody that's really close to him be
Yeah,
like,
it's gonna happen.
Hey, bring
you
these
gotta bring those
motherfuckers.
guys. They
Yeah.
talk about you all the time.
Yeah.
You should
you,
bring
you
them.
need to have Jocko on here.
Jocko,
And then he gonna-
Jocko
he
and
gonna connect you, man. He
well,
got a good
Hanzo
story.
Gracie, right?
Enzo, yeah. That would be a good one, man.
Yeah,
Henzo,
I
I
this
just,
is a funny
I want to
guy.
have that conversation.
man,
with
the-
Hanzo.
to me, the Legacy movie, the Henzo movie Legacy, bro.
Yeah.
I watch that like once a week.
Hanzo.
You know, I watch that
Yeah.
like once a week.
But I
he's
think that's
fine.
those steps, right? But I think Joe Hogan, guys, send him a message.
Let's
like,
go, get him on here.
get him. Hey, got me, JP, PBJJF Podcast, JP Mac.
Yeah.
Bring these
Bring those
motherfuckers
guys.
here.
Bring those guys.
Go.
And maybe we train with him afterwards.
Yeah, I want to
You
see.
go
The,
first round, I go second.
I want to
round.
see the JP Joe Rogan super fight. Joe Rogan, you gotta wear the gi though,
Hey,
bro.
you gotta wear
I'll
the
go no
gi,
gi.
bro.
I go no good with
Oh,
him.
nice, man. Nice.
And I go any gi no gi whatever. But it would
Even
be great to
karate.
roll with him.
Yeah, he wanna do some taekwondo.
Yeah, let's go.
Do whatever.
No, Joe.
It'd be cool. But yeah, man.
Man,
Jake, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, man.
brother.
It's
Thank
been
you
a
for
pleasure.
coming.
Been a
Our
pleasure.
pleasure. Thank you guys so much for joining the episode. Make sure you support Brave Kimonos. Go to Brave Kimonos and buy some rash
Yeah,
guards.
man,
Buy
get
some
some
gear.
stuff,
Use
man.
PBJJF.
It's nice.
With your code.
Use PBJJF code because if they see the support, they'll be like, man, the sponsorship's
Yep.
working. So let's
Then
keep
they're gonna
going.
help. Yep.
And maybe if you want to be a sponsor at our podcast,
Send
send us an email.
Yeah, man. Let's go.
professionaljujitsu@gmail.com. Send us email and become a sponsor at PBJJF Podcast. There's an opportunity right there. Thank you guys so much.
Like, share,
Make sure
subscribe.
Like, share,
And that's
subscribe.
cool.
Tell everybody about it. Send a message to Joe Rogan. Don't forget
Let's
it.
go. Get on his ass. Thank you, guys.
Usa.
Thank you guys.
Thanks so much, man.
Yeah.
Oh my. Now we just need to eat a picanha before.